Welcome back to Otaku Daikun. It's time to play more Fate Stay Night. Unlimited Blade Works. Let us go. Hello. Tosaka says dangerous things with a serious face. Well, I know this is part of her as a magus. Yes, Rialto Nua.
俺に魔術を教えるつもりはなかったんだ。だからそういう遠坂みたいにちゃんとした手順は踏まなかったんだよ。
Excuse me?
というか、生まれた時から手を加えるって何さ。
言葉通りの意味よ。歴史が古くなればなるほど、その家系の魔術刻印は大きくなる。魔術刻印は形になった魔術回路だから、ほんの少し体に刻むだけで人間の体が拒否反応を起こしてものすごく痛むのよ。で、それを少しでも和らげるために
That'll just make it more entertaining though,
少し
won't
ずつ
it?
移植していくってわけ。ついでに中身も無理が効くように苦い薬草やら怪しげな骨を砕いた粉とか飲み続けて体に耐性を作っておくの。まあ、魔術使いであるエミヤ君には関係ない。
Yeah, Rialto Nua is the good
あんま
version.
り気にする必要はないわ。
This has the best of everything, plus the H scenes still back in. Although I can't show those, unfortunately. Unlimited Blade Works.
言われなくてもそんな気はないよ。けど、遠坂は大丈夫なのか。なんか聞くだけで痛々しいんだが、その。
I can't put it into words properly. I don't know what you would call a normal magus teacher, but I felt a pressure when I went to Tosaka's house. A family that passes on a long history. Children that have the duty to succeed from the time that they're born, secluded from the normal world, disregarding their will. I bite my lip, trying irresponsibly to think how long and heavy it is.
そういう心配なんてしてるんだ、エミヤ君は。
なんだよ、その意味ありげな顔は。別に俺心配なんてしてないからな。
The trip was amazing. I don't know if you've seen my latest video, but that's definitely my travelogue of my experiences there. It kind of says everything I could possibly say.
心配なんてされる覚えはないもの。私は好きでやってきたんだから、そこに後悔なんてないしね。
The Onigashima
エ
event
ミヤ君も同じなんじゃない？
is pretty fun. I enjoyed it. It was a little too long and grindy for my taste, but that's just because I'm yearning for an actual story-driven section of FGO.
なんでそこに俺が出てくるんだ？
Wait, the same? Me and Tosaka?
まったく。
Facepalm.
本当に自分のことはわからないのね、あんたって。確かに私の修行は大変だったわ。けど逃げ出したいなんて思ったことはなかった。それはエミヤ君も同じでしょって言ったの。
I don't know. If I could fund the Mahotsukai no Yoru translation, I fucking would. I would Indiegogo that shit or Kickstarter or whatever it took to get somebody on that, because it's ridiculous. They're not going to localize it officially, and there was like one person doing all the translation. Hello.
それはそうだけど、俺は遠坂ほどきついことは要求されなかったし。
I don't like Golden Boy, so I don't have him maxed, no. I did do all my damage points though, and that's about where I stopped.
バカ言わないでよ。9年間まっとうに育っておいて、それから魔術を習うなんて正気じゃないわ。
For show glasses?
エミヤ君の日課がどんなものかは知らないけど、それよっぽど危険な鍛錬なはずよ。
いや、それは俺が未熟なだけであって、本来ならそういう危険なものじゃないんだ。遠坂と比べることなんてできない。
そうね。私だってあなたと比べることはできないもの。魔術の鍛錬なんてね、結局はそういうものよ。 唯一共通なのは命を
Only some Black Panther?
測りには個人差があるけど、要はその測りをどれほど傾けられるかでしょ。
My wife definitely likes it. I haven't seen it.
その点で言えば、あなたは私なんかよりずっと厳しい。
Ah, yeah. The Tosaka sensei. Apart from Artoria, who is my next best waifu, my next best waifu isn't even from Fate, to be perfectly honest. That would actually be probably Matoi Ryuko from Kill la Kill, or Alyssa from God Eater. Starts to branch out into other franchises. Oh yeah, I am so gonna play Code Vein. They said it was a September release date, right? Oh, I saw the character creation in that game. Oh, it looks divine.
私、死ぬような鍛錬なんてしたことないもの。そもそも失敗することがないし。
うわ、言い切ったな、今。
She casually says something that hurts me. In other words, she says she doesn't understand how we feel when we fail.
ほら、そこすねない。今の褒めたんだから。
テストでいつも100点取ってるやつに、今回はよくできましたなんて褒められても嬉しかないや。
今回はなんて言ってないわよ。要するにね、確かに教えは厳しか
Because
った
the
け
Dark
ど、
Souls games, Bloodborne, those games are fun and they look fun, but I've been waiting for, I've very much been waiting for an anime version of that. Oh, Caster Sphinx? Well, you know, the best Caster Sphinx is... God, is it Nitocris? I don't know how to pronounce that shit. I've never heard that word before other than her name, and it's only been in text, so I'm not sure how I go about pronouncing it, but I want her. Damn, she's attractive. My Egyptian goddess! Tosaka said it was hard, but not harsh. I think she's right. I did not feel that my training was harsh nor severe. Yes, I've got a kitty. No, I didn't have any composure to think about such a thing. I just wanted to catch up to Kiritsugu. Hi, boy, come here. I'll give you a pet. Come here. Good boy. I want to be like Kiritsugu someday. I kept on training to be a superhero that Kiritsugu couldn't be. Aww. Come to think of it, most of my memories are about training in the shed. Training, he says, but I've never regretted it. I've always believed that it's the most important thing for me.
そうか。言われてみればそうだな。俺もそれなりにやってきたってことか。
Are you the only one wanting serenity? What's the context, serenity? As for Miyu vs. Shiro, I'm not 100% sure. I forgot. Didn't he get the Archer card or something like that? Shit, I don't remember. I need to watch that movie again.
そういうこと。エミヤ君は独学でここまで来たんだから、もっと自信を持ちなさい。
Tosaka tells me to be proud, but I'm a bit embarrassed. It's more embarrassing if she's getting happy about it as if it's her own accomplishment.
さて、話がまとまったところで少しは真面目な話をしよっか。協力者としてお互いの特技は知っておかないとね。
特技？ああ、使える魔術のことか。そんなの今更だろう。遠坂は俺の魔術を知ってるじゃないか。
Yeah, Ryogishiki's up there with my waifu. She's one of the top ones for me as well.
ええ、エミヤ君の魔術は強化だっけ
？That sounds fascinating, Max HD.
珍しいとまでは言わないけど、メインに据えてる魔術師はそう多くないじゃない？それが不思議だったのよ。 あなたどうして強化にこだわるわけ？
いや、単にそれしか使えないんだよ。いろいろ試したけど強化ぐらいしかできなかった。
The rest is basic stuff, like making a blueprint and such. No, Epic of Remnant is not here yet. That's after. Isn't that after Babylon?
そう。私のところは転換かな。力の蓄積、流動、変化って
You
とこ
guess
ろ。
yours is conversion?
そのあたりを
She's
基
being
本に
awfully
して
casual
有
about
名
it.
どころの魔術は抑えてある。
Conversion of power, that's the most basic and the most all around. In other words, she can put magical energy into any container and transform it.
そっか。けど遠坂、教えてくれるのは嬉しいけど、
Kojiro Sasaki pretty much disappeared when Medea died because he was her servant.
前にエミヤくん、私に教えてくれたでしょ。なのに私だけ隠してるのはフェアじゃないから。
Saying so, Tosaka holds out her left arm.
この前見せたけど、これが私の魔術刻印。遠坂の家に伝わるのは転換の技法でね。自分でも他人でもともかく力を移し替えたりするのが得意なわけ。
Catch you later.
普通魔力っていうのは体外に出すと消えるでしょ。魔力だけで神秘は起こせない。外に出して魔力が消えてしまう前に魔力によって魔術っていう式を発動させる。
She stops there and takes a small rock out of her pocket. Is it a jewel? The transparent polyhedron reminds me of a kaleidoscope.
例外として私は他のものに自分の魔力を蓄積できる。いいえ、自分の魔力だけじゃなくて他の術者の魔力だって保存できるし、難しいけど移し替えられるのは魔力だけじゃないわ。で、その保存場所に一番相性がいいのが宝石なの。宝石が想念をためやすい場、流れをとどめる牢獄ってことは知ってるでしょ。
I am not an expert on Prisma Ilia, unfortunately.
加えてずっと地中で眠っていた鉱石には強い自然霊が宿っている。そういった宝石は魔力を込めるだけで簡易的な魔術刻印になるのよ。
I tend to use the same servants again and again and again. I don't think I have any of them at that bond. Yet again, I haven't been farming exclusively for that.
まあ宝石である以上、一度でも込められた魔力を解放すれば壊れちゃうんだけど。
Yes, they added in the final battle between Artoria and Kojiro Sasaki from Unlimited Blade Works, and they put that into the Fate route for the Dean Stay Night.
なんだ、もったいない話だな。一度使ったら壊れるってなくなるってことだろ。
そうなのよ。おかげでうちは年中金欠でさ。
He ate the gem in Fate route.
遠坂の魔術師は後継ぎになったらまずお金を稼ぐところから。
そうか。問題ってのは人それぞれなんだな、遠坂。
She looks away as if she said too much. Yeah, I think so every time I see her, but I think Tosaka is rather foolish. Say what? As for Aya, it's a crazy-ass sword. You could almost not even call it a sword at all, but, you know, it's a divine construct. One of the only ones... It's the only one of its kind that exists. Gilgamesh is the only one who's allowed to possess it. They say a bunch of stuff like that. You know, it has the ability to tear apart, you know, the fabric of worlds and all that. Pretty impressive shit. The 5th period is about to end. Tosaka's explanation is ended, so I decide to ask her about another Magus, about Shinji.
なあ、遠坂。シンジの家、マトウの家が魔術師の家系だって言うんだけど、知ってたか？
ええ、知ってたわ。けどマトウ家はここ数十年で衰退したって父さんが言ってた。今のマトウ家には魔術師としての血脈はないって。 それは本当。だからシンジがマスターになったって聞いて驚いたけど。
I see. So she did know, huh? That's to be expected because she supervises the land and knows about all the magi, with a history that live here. So she should know that Shinji's the master. Wait, hold on.
遠坂、シンジがマスターだって知ってたのか。
ごめんごめん、私も今朝知ったのよ。シンジがマスターになるわけないって鷹をくくってたのが裏目に出たみたい。
We'll see. I'd rather rise to the challenge than... I don't know, I don't want to look up all the guides and be, like, too prepared all at once, necessarily. I'm sure I'll be fine with just my own persistence and trying out different things. Either he absorbed the entirety of the gem, or he had a rather nasty stool later. She's looking for the third master at our school, but it seems like she's not considering Shinji to be a problem at all.
遠坂、シンジはそのマスターなんだろう。
ええ、けど別にどうってことないでしょ。シンジ自身に魔力はないんだし、そう大それたことはできないわ。私たちの敵は学校に潜んでいるマスターだもの。シンジはマスターとしての気配もないし、私たちが探している
Shinji is not the droid we're looking for.
じゃあ学校にはすごい4人のマスターがいるってことか。
そうなるんじゃない？まあ、シンジにはおとなしくしておけって言ったから邪魔されることはないでしょうけど。
This is such a haphazard Grail War compared to the fourth. Like, all the mages were prepared, ready for this. And here we just got, like, the remnant leftovers, their children all kind of scattered about. They make a really interesting story, but it's certainly not a professional, formal Grail War by any means. She makes another worrisome statement. No, first of all, how did Tosaka find out that Shinji's a master?
遠坂、ちょっと今朝の話を詳しく聞かせてくれ。
詳しくも何もシンジの方から話しかけてきたのよ。僕もマスターになったから2人で手を組まないかって。
I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this, but I can't stop her here.
続き、その続きはどうした？
続きも何も当然断ったわ。だっていうのにあいつしつこく食い下がってくるんだもの。ついシローがいるからマトウ君はいらないって言っちゃった。
That's a rather hypothetical question, I'm not sure. Tosaka laughs as if it's a funny story. That must be why Shinji was acting strange today, but...
それで遠坂はどうするんだ？シンジを放っておくのか？学校の結界ってシンジが張ってるんだろう。
え？
Tosaka freezes. I thought so. She didn't know Shinji made the boundary field, huh?
違うんだ遠坂。確かにシンジは魔術師じゃない。けどあの結界はシンジが張ったものだ。きっとキャスターみたいにサーバントの方が魔術に長けているんじゃないか。
Tosaka grows pale.
遠坂、お前気づいてなかったのか？
She's like, Shimata!
おう、あの結界がサーバントによるものだって気がついてたけど。
She couldn't make the connection to Shinji, huh? I recall how Tosaka was acting until now. I bet Tosaka was so worried about what happened last night that she couldn't think about Shinji. It must be the biggest mistake she's made in her life.
まずい。下手したらシンジのやつ。
She gets up instantly and glares at the exit. At that instant. Figures. The moment she realizes this, of course, they activate the barrier. The disorder is revealed as if it's carefully timed.
結界。
The sky is tinted red. My body is numbed just by breathing in red air surrounding the school. It doesn't affect magi that can create magical energy inside their bodies, but people with scarce magical energy will faint just by breathing it, and should eventually die.
遠坂。
分かってる。急ぐわよ、シロ。
Oh, Shinji, you're such a douchebag all around. Oh, Shinji, I wanna kick you to the ground. The school is red all around. The hallway is red like blood. The air is red like blood. The thick air sticking to my skin makes me hallucinate that this might just be a bad dream. Ooh. Breath filled with hatred escapes my closed mouth. I pour reasoning onto my confused and heated brain as coolant, and I try to grasp the situation. I activate my trap card. Let's duel. I run into the classroom, the one nearest to the stairs. Tosaka stops for a second, hesitant to enter the disastrous scene. I understand how she feels. I don't want to encounter such a thing either.
息はある。まだ間に合わないわけじゃない。
I go near a student and check his pulse and breathing. There's no conscious person in the classroom. Everybody, including the students at their desks and the teacher up front, are down on the floor now. Most of the students are unconscious, convulsing, foaming at the mouth like it's a bad joke. Like it's a bad joke? A few students have other things happen to them. Their skin is melting. The human skin is slowly melting like mud sliding off of plaster. Gosh, that would be weird. The way the melting skin drips onto the floor makes me picture a giant stomach. Tosaka is astonished by the horrific scene. You know, that description of, like, skin melting, you don't ever see that in the anime because that would be rather gross. Yeah, I don't know who on earth is who versus YouTube and the Discord. A lot of you guys could be the same people and I wouldn't even recognize you. There is no time to think. To resolve the situation as fast as we can, I should... You know what I'm gonna choose, but I guess I'll... Shit, I don't remember if it's a bad thing if you choose the wrong choice. I'm gonna use the command spell, because that's what we've already seen Unlimited Blade Works. This is the right choice, arguably. Plus I want my waifu. That's the best choice we have. If Shinji's created this boundary field, I just need to call for Saber.
Tosaka, Saber を呼ぶ。レイジの使い方を教えてくれ。
ちょっと待って。セイバーを呼ぶなら私も。
Tosaka は昨日レイジを使ったんだろう。なら次は俺の番だ。セイバーを呼んでどうにもならないなら、その時はアーチャーを呼べばいい。
左手に意識を固めて。目はつむった方がいい。頭の中で自分のレイジの形をイメージして、スルッと紐解くだけでいいわ。
Yeah, just because this game is so freaking long, I don't want to run into too many deaths unless they're like funny deaths. Which there are. I close my eyes. I can't take my time. I eliminate any thoughts in my head as quickly as I can. Concentrate on my second command spell.
来い! Saber!
Saber! And I release the command spell without any hesitation. Oh. Why is she calling me? Hey, I'm streaming. What do you need? Today? When are you getting out? It won't be a lot of time. I don't know, maybe. I'll talk to you when you get home. Bye. My hand burns. Saber cannot go into spirit form because she's not traditionally a heroic spirit. She made that deal with the Counterforce in order to have a chance to be. She became a guardian in order to pursue the Grail.
Saber!
召喚に応じ参上しました。マスター、状況は霊樹を使うほどのことなのですね。
見ての通りだ。サーバントに結界
So that's what he meant by call Saber.
1秒でも早くこいつを消去したい。
You just pick up your cell, you call her up, you're like, hey, I got some food. Come find me. I got your favorite. I got some
この
taiyaki.
フロアにサー
She's
バント
like,
の気配を感じます。
she's there like in a second.
このフロア4階にいるっていうの？サーバントが。
間違いありません。ミン、それが何か。
おお、セイバーの感知なら確かだろうけど、それはおかしいのよ。結界の起点は1階から感じられる。サーバントの気配を感知するのはサーバントであるセイバーのが優れてるでしょうけど、こと魔術の痕跡に関しては私だって負けてない。
サーバントはこの階にいるのに結界を張っているのは1階だってことか、遠坂。
Then this whole story would fall apart and I'd be a sad panda. That's what.
断定はできないけど、私はそう感じてるわ。この結界の起点は1階にあるんだって。
So there are two alternatives, huh? Dude, if Shiro motorboated Lancer Artoria, it'd probably kill him. If Shinji arranged for this servant to come to this floor, one has to be a trap. Everyone in this school will pay the price if we make the wrong choice.
リン、アーチャーはどうしたのです。彼がいるのなら、もう少し確かな判別ができる。
You might need a different catalyst, for instance, to get a different class of a servant. Perhaps there's a very huge change in personality between Saber Lancer and... That's confusing. Artoria Lancer and Artoria Saber. Shiro definitely resonates with the struggles of Saber Artoria much more than whatever's going on with the King of Lions, as we'll find out in Camelot.
それがあいつ呼んでも答えないの。この結界完全に内と外を遮断してる。霊樹を使うか、あいつがこっちの異常を感知して駆けつけてくる以外ないわ。
Tosaka and Saber glare at each other, but now's not a time to be doing so. Think. Tosaka doesn't have her composure. The best thing we can do right now is... We'll go search the first floor. I feel sorry for letting Saber fight by herself, but she should be able to take the servant on by herself.
セイバー、サーバントは任せた。一人で戦えるか？
無論です。ではシロは
Does she like fate stuff? And anime?
遠坂と1階に急ぐ。俺一人じゃ危なっかしいだろうが。
I would hope so, or she'd be probably really bored.
それに魔力感知は遠坂しかできない。一緒に行くぞ、遠坂。
ええ、当然よ。言われなくても一人で行くつもりだったわ。
Then it's decided. So now...
何してんのよ。椅子の足なんて折って正気？
武器は必要だろ。
Then you guys seen Psychic School Wars?
元になる獲物は必要なんだ。
I swing the leg of the chair. It's exactly like the time I got attacked by Tosaka. I easily succeed at strengthening magic, and I also take another leg while I'm at it.
シロ、外に微弱な気配がします。どうや
包囲されたって何？
わかりかねます。ですが、外に出て確認するだけの話です。
What is motorboating? You put your face between the fun bags and... There you go. It's probably more answer than you'd ever need.
無論、あなたの盾となるのが私の使命ですから。
Saber runs out into the hallway.
そう、遠坂。こっちは1階だ。
The instant we go into the hallway, we find out what's surrounding us. Hey guys! Are those bones? Things made out of inhuman bones are coming in great numbers from the outside of the hallway.
遠坂、あれは
ゴーレム、使い魔の類でしょ。 いいからこっち。あいつらはセイバーが引き受けてくれるってば。
Dragon Tooth
あんなの
Warriors!
何体いようがセイバーの敵じゃない。
すまんセイバー。
I run to the stairs. The sound of Saber destroying the bones echoes behind me. The name of the spear is Rongo Minyad. We run down the stairs. It's confusing because it's a spear that you use like a spear, but it's also like a fucking pillar that like separates the boundary between like the world and the reverse side of the world or some shit, which is a little confusing. I'm hoping they'll clarify that more specifically for me in FGO. Like, what does that look like if you're also grabbing the damn thing and using it as a weapon? It's not that far to the first floor. The Dragon Tooth Warriors are like Rayman. I smash the blocking bone creature with my chair leg in my hand. Yes, I've seen that fan comic. This is the third one already. It might be because I saw the disaster, but I don't care about confronting these monsters. In other words, my mind is numb. My proper emotions, such as hatred, fear, sadness, and cowardice, have all frozen up. Possibly. Yeah, there's a lot of comic dubs out there. The only thing filling my head is the desire to get to the first floor. I take the two swords in my hand and swing them like I saw him use them.
何そっち行ってんだてめえ。
Yeah, if you want some pretty good Fate comic dubs, Sippy VA is a good channel for that. I almost like want to try and collab with him. Maybe when I do one of the ridiculous tale of when I redo the ridiculous tale of Camelot, and later on when I do pretty soon actually in September I'll have the ridiculous tale of Babylon. I smashed the fourth bone creature. The bone creature that tried to attack Tosaka from the side gets smashed and smacked into a wall.
無事か父さんが。
Good. Tosaka isn't hurt at all.
父さんが結界の起点は。
ええ、すぐそこ。あそこの教室。
The place Tosaka points at is about 10 meters ahead. There are a few more bone creatures that followed us down the stairs, but we don't have time to deal with them. Ain't got no time for that. I parry the attacking sword with the weapon in my right hand. I attack the defenseless body with the weapon in my left hand. Yeah, no, not Slippy VA, it's Sippy VA, isn't it? Yep, just Sippy VA, no L. I destroy the fifth bone creature, but there are more of them. There are at least 10 bone creatures in the hallway.
くそ、しつこい。
Hello.
品切れに習ってんだこいつら。
I retreat a bit. The chair legs in my hands are worn down. I've never actually talked to Sippy VA about that, but I would love to do that kind of collab. Even though I strengthened them, they are originally only stainless steel. I don't know if they'll even hold for one more attack.
シロ、下がって。
I'm surprised, but I back up like she tells me to. At that instant, Tosaka jumps out in front of me and throws a jewel at the bone creatures.
はい、キルパ。イストアイキルパ。
Kerblami! She fills my vision with pure white. Ku is easy to summon. I got way too many of him. Have I seen the truth about Gilgamesh? Is that the one about him being half mongrel or whatever? I feel like Unlimited Bladeworks Shiro is more consistent, but I don't know how that would stack up against 9 Lives Bladeworks. Probably 9 Lives Bladeworks is way more useful, but I don't know how many times he can pull that out. That must have been some sort of release spell. There was no sign of destruction in the hallway, and only the scattered remains of the bone creatures are there.
ありがとう。助かったわ。トパーズなんてめったに使わないから用意するのに時間がかかって。正直、エミヤくんがいなかったら数で押されてた。
Yahoo! We're useful! She lowers her shoulders in relief, but she only does so for an instant and glares at the classroom.
行きましょう。あそこにシンジがいるはずよ。
Tosaka runs to the classroom. I follow her and step into the red classroom. It is a pure hell here. The air in this classroom cannot be called gas anymore. The vaporized blood dyes the eyes of the beholder like paint. Voices of anguish can be heard from all over. This is the origin of the boundary field, the place where absorption is the strongest. The students lying on the floor are totally different from the students on the 4th floor. The moanings I hear are just hallucinations. The students have pale faces, and they don't move as if they're dolls made from wax. It reminds me of a mountain of corpses, trash thrown away in a wasteland. Tosaka is staring at the scene, her legs shaking. I hear a chattering sound. It must be to suppress her emotions. Tosaka's teeth chatter as she beholds the scene in horror. She moves her legs and steps forward. Between the desks, there's a living person there. On his ass amongst all the fallen students, Mato Shinji is looking up at Tosaka.
シンジ、あんた。
Yes, Man-at-Arms is awesome shit. A stern voice. I like how they made the scissor blade out of scissors, like melted down scissors. He must have reacted to the voice. Shinji lets out a strange cry and jumps away from Tosaka.
言い訳は聞かないわよ。あんたがやったことの代償はどんなことをしても払わせてやる。
Tosaka goes near Shinji.
違う。僕じゃない。
Shinji shakes his head and retreats to the wall.
僕じゃない？よくもそんなことを言えたものね。いいから今すぐ結界を解きなさい。解かないって言うんならその顔吹っ飛ばしてでも。
違う。だから違う。僕じゃないんだ。殺したのは僕じゃない。
This is strange. Shinji is running away from Tosaka, but he's not looking at her. He's looking at the floor right by our feet.
足元。
I look down. There are only students that fell unconscious. There isn't anything else.
遠坂。
Never mind. I call her out to the point and point to the place. Yes, I've heard of Empire of Dirt. I don't know enough about it. And I don't know why it's called that either. A stunned voice. She must have forgotten her anger towards Shinji. I don't think Saber Alter would be able to, I don't think she'd be able to beat Gil. Oh, sad Snake. My breath stops. The thing on the floor is completely dead. The long purple hair, the woman covered in black clothes, the servant that attacked me, Ryder. Tosaka's voice contains no emotion.
だから僕じゃない。僕がやったんじゃない。結界を起こして誰も動かなくなったのに、ライダーはあいつ。
Well, I don't blame the creator for being obsessed with Shisho. The black servant, Ryder, was killed in one blow. What kind of weapon was it, and how was she killed? Only one blow against a servant. Only aiming for the neck and killing the enemy by ripping the neck apart. I can't even imagine how it was done. It must have caught her by surprise, but the enemy must have been skilled to cut her neck in one blow. No, can I call it cut? It looks like someone put a jack in there and ripped off the meat and bone by crushing it. Jesus Christ. Ryder disappears from this world. The red world disappears at the same time. It seems the boundary field was created by this servant as I thought. But...
シンジ、これをやったの
Who done it? As Tosaka closes in, Shinji slowly retreats towards the hallway.
言ったでしょ、学校にはもう一人マスターがいるって。その忠告を無視して騒ぎを起こしたあんたの落ち度よ。どうやらサーバントを見殺しにして生き残ったみたいだけど、相手の顔を見たんなら次はあんたの番よ。どんな
そんなことあるもんか。僕にはもうサーバントはいないんだ。マスターじゃないんだから。狙われるのはお前たちだけだろ。
Yeah, in the anime, Medea just had like a rotisserie neck.
そうね。まあ確かにその通りか。うろちょろして見苦しいかもしれないけど、ハムシじゃ人間は殺せないし。そうね。あんた次第でここで息の根を止めるのは待ってあげる。
ハムシ。僕がハムシ。
害虫に例えなかっただけでもありがたく思いなさい。麻藤真司は魔術師でもなければマスターにもふさわしくないから人畜無害だって言ってやったのよ。で、見たんなら答えなさいよ。今のあんたなんてその程度の価値しかないんだから。
Aoko is really cool. I want to read Mahotsukai no Yoru. It's so goddamn beautiful. Shinji retreats, being pushed by Tosaka's pressure. I don't know if Tosaka's serious or just threatening, but she's seriously angry. She has lost her calmness after seeing that tragic scene here.
さあ、あんたのサーバントを仕留めたのはどんなサーバントだったのよ、シンジ。
知るもんか、マヌケ。怯えるのはお前たちの方だぞ、トサカ。次あいつに狙われるのはお前たちなんだからな。
この
You could be waiting for a very long time. Shinji runs out into the hallway and Tosaka starts to go after him. But Tosaka stops as if she's realized something. No, that's wrong. It's not that she noticed something. She's just watching the students on the floor and biting her lips in vexation. Her face is that of Tosaka Rin, but her knees are shaking and her eyes are wavering as if they're about to cry. I don't know if she's filled with sorrow or vexation, but that tells me she is firm, can do everything, and is a mature magus. But she's just a girl of her age on the inside.
大丈夫だ、トサカ。みんなまだ息はある。まだ終わったわけじゃない。
息があるってみんなに？
ああ、辛いだろうけどよく見てみろ。みんなちゃんと生きてる。結界もなくなったし、あとはすぐに助けを呼ぶだけだ。で、この場合は救急車か、それとも違うところか。魔術による傷なら教会に連絡を入れるべきなのか。
I ask her in a calm voice. That must have gotten back her reasoning as she slaps her own face with both her hands.
連絡するのは教会でいいわ。きれいに状況を説明すれば、後の手配は全部やってくれる。
よし、じゃあすぐに連絡しよう。
Nodding, Tosaka runs out into the hallway. She must be heading to the office. There's a phone there, so she should be able to make a call right away. We finish contacting the church and go outside. It'd be troublesome for us if we weren't the only ones unharmed. Or if we were the only ones unharmed. So Kotomine ordered us to pretend that we weren't here today.
じゃあセイバー、相手はキャスターだったのか。
はい。ゴーレムを操っていたのはキャスターのサーバントでした。校舎に潜んだキャスターを倒し
I like the way they did it in Unlimited Blade Works the anime better because she was able to actually encounter, like we got to see the encounter with Caster and how she chopped her and how Caster's like, ooh, I like you, Saber, I want you, as she's dying. See you later. I see. So it means Caster was controlling those bone creatures from the Ryudo Temple. Then Caster was the one who attacked Shinji's servant.
学校にいる4人目のマスターはキャスターのマスターってことだな。あいつのことだ。マスターであるシンジを
Tome, if you're talking about... They're referring to the Japanese FGO for Okita Alter. We're not gonna get that for a long, long time.
そうでしょうね。シローの話ではライダーは一撃で首を切られている。何らかの理由で動きを封じられ、無抵抗なまま倒されたとしか思えない。
厄介だな。でもまあ、何せよキャスターのマスターが学校にいるってことは分かったんだ。全くの無駄だったわけでもない。
I turned to Tosaka for confirmation. Tosaka only stares back at me silently. Since we left the classroom, Tosaka's only been looking at me as if she wants to say something.
トサカ、言いたいことがあるなら言えって。お前に黙ってられると、なんか背中がムズムズする。
In fear of not knowing when I'll get hit from behind, Tosaka stares at me for a while and with a serious face.
エミヤくん冷静なのね。意外だった。
Says this.
冷静じゃないぞ。俺だって目の前が真っ赤になった。いいか。
それでもみんなの傷を把握してたじゃない。私にはできなかったけど。
ああ、そんなことか。別に大したことじゃない。死体は見慣れてるから判断がついただけだ。
Yeah, corpse here or there. I'm used to it.
死体は見慣れてる？
We walk away while we talk. This place will get rowdy once the ambulances arrive. We go to the back gate through the woods and get out of the school from there. Yeah, the visual novel has nice music. Then...
なんだ。セイバーがいるとは驚いたな。
Yeah, I've got plenty of crystal lore. I just don't have enough QP. Shit runs out so fast when you're leveling up skills. As we make our way to the back gate, we run into the late arriving guy.
あーちゃあんた今頃やってきて何のつもりよ。
決まっているだろう。主の意地を察して駆けつけたのだ。もっとも遅すぎたようだがな。
もう済んじまったわよ。あんたがのんびりしてる間に何が起きたのか一から聞かせてやるからそこに直れっていうの。
どうやら最悪の間で到着してしまったか。
The two argue, leaving us aside. Well, it's just that Tosaka is yelling at Archer while he's just calmly brushing it off.
やはり仲がいいのですね、あの二人は。リンが怒っているのはアーチャーを信頼していた裏返しですし、それを黙って聞いているアーチャーも。
言いたいことはわかる。けど、どうしてそれをいちいち俺に言うんだ？
いいえ、シローが難しい顔をしていたものですから、代わりに解説してみただけです。
What happens if Shiro gets hit on by Ishtar? they never meet each other in canon, I know. I don't think so. Unless you're talking about Emiya, which is technically Shiro. I like to think that the Emiya in FGO is like a version of Shiro that is totally okay with his decision. He's not as grumpy and fucked up as Emiya in Fate Stay Night. Well, I don't know what's so funny, but Saber's smiling meaningfully. I like it even less.
わかったわかった。次からは体裁など気にしない。で、結局脱落したのはどのサーバントだ？
Archer's expression changes. His usual ironic composure disappears, and he looks like a cold warrior now.
消えたのはライダーのサーバントだ。状況はわからないが、キャスターにやられたんだろう。
キャスターに？では、キャスターはどうなった？よもや無事というわけではなかろう。
それもわからない。ただ、ライダーは一撃で倒されていたから、キャスターは無傷だと思う。
I say so, representing the three of us. Then...
ふぬけめ。所詮口だけの女だったか。勝ち抜ける器ではないと思ったが、よもやただの一撃で倒されるとは。まったく敵と相打つぐらいの気迫は見せるというのだ。
He goes back to his usual manner. He goes back to his usual manner and insults the now gone rider.
アーチャー、ライダーはマスターを守って死んだ。ふぬけなどとあなたに言う資格はない。
Besides, it's not Ryder's fault. She's actually pretty strong when you don't have a
何を
douchebag
言うかと思えば、
as her
ふぬけ
master.
はふぬけだろう。英雄を名乗るのなら、最低限一人は殺さなければ面目が立つまい。それができぬのなら、せめて命がけで相打ちを狙えというのだ。
勝手なことを。それができぬ状態だったからこそ無抵抗で敗れたのではないか。その散りざまを罵るとは貴様こそ英雄を名乗るものか。
どのような理由であれ、無様に敗れたことに変わりはあるまい。まあ確かに英雄であるからというのは失言だったな。英雄であろうがなかろうが、弱ければ死ぬだけだ。
Yeah, I've played Persona 4 and 5. Those are my favorites, obviously. I've dabbled a bit in Persona 3, but I could never get into it as much.
この戦いにふさわしくない英雄とやらは早々に消えればいい。
よく言った。
I honestly think they give 5 stars out to characters they think are going to be the most popular, as opposed to which characters would actually be better canonically.
お前とこれは驚いたな。何が勘に触ったかは知らんが、協力関係にある者に戦いを挑むとは。だが残念。私はお前たちと戦うなと令状を下されている。今挑まれてはライダーと同じく無抵抗で倒されるだけだが、そんな相手と戦うのが君の騎士道なのか、セイバー。
Mass Effect? I got somewhat into the first game. I still own it, but I'm just not that into it. The two glare at each other without a word, and the whole Andromeda nonsense doesn't make me feel any better.
あーちゃん、そこまでよ。
Tosaka's quiet voice puts a stop to it.
セイバーと喧嘩してる場合じゃないでしょ。ライダーは消えて、マスターも一人脱落した。けど、学校にはあと一人、正体不明のマスターが潜んでいることは間違いない。私とエミヤ君の協力条件は、学校に潜むマスターを倒すまでよ。それとも何？あなた、今度はセイバーと戦うな、なんて令状を使わせたいの？
そうだな。セイバー殿があまりにも王道ゆえ、からかいに興が乗ってしまった。すまんな、セイバー。私と戦うのは協力。
いいえ、私も大人気がなかったようです。凛に免じて今の発言は聞き流します。
Heracles or Hercules, they're the same thing, same dude. One's a Greek name, one's a Roman name. The Greek name Heracles, however, is probably a bit more telling because it refers to how they tried to name him after Hera to try to not make her pissed off that she was cheated on because Zeus is like a man whore. Saber takes a step back while glaring at Archer and stands by my side. Tosaka moves Archer back as well.
まあ話は今の通りよ。私たちの協力関係はまだ続いている。今日はもう無理だろうけど、明日になれば学校でキャスターのマスターを探すことだってできるわ。つまりは現状維持ってわけだけど、エミヤ君はそれでいい？
ああ、そのつもりだ。それで今日はこれからどうするんだ？
そんなわけないでしょう。アーチャーの話じゃ竜道寺に行くのは自殺行為だって話だし、キャスターを倒すんならマスターを探すのが先決よ。幸か不幸か、キャスターのマスターは毎日学校に来てる。こっちからつついて警戒されるより、今はそれを続けさせた方がいいわ。
There is a Heracles with a sword, isn't there? I try not to think how she came to that conclusion. Tosaka knew that there's a master at our school. That must be because there's someone there with magical energy other than Shinji. Since Castor appeared, it must mean that the master at our school is Castor's master. Additionally, Castor's master is coming to school every day for some reason. It means he or she is coming to school every day defenselessly, rather than staying at the Ryudo Temple under Castor's protection.
つまり誰がマスターなのか確かめた後、竜道寺に戻る前に襲おうって腹か。
そういうこと。どうもね、キャスターのマスターは私とエミヤ
I'm
君
pretty
がマ
sure
スターだ
Zeus
って
once
知らない
fucked
と
a
思うの
tree.
よ。だって知ってたら学校になんか来ないでしょ。
それはそうだ。じゃあキャスターのマスターはシンジがマスターだってことも知らなかったのかな。
説明はつかないけど、その可能性は高いわ。あれだけ魔術に長けたサーバントを連れておいて、そんな間の抜けた話はないと思うんだけど。
Yeah. Even I, who has no knowledge as a master, got this far thanks to Saber. If you have a servant like Castor, I'm sure you wouldn't do something as dangerous as...
それは違う。
Whoops.
全
going
体を間違
outside.
えているんだ、リン。
アーチャー？
キャスターのマスターに自由意志はあるまい。
Aphrodite's a bitch. I hate her. I don't... Oh.
いや、自由意志があるつもりでいて、やはりキャスターに操られているのだろう。あの女は人の下につくものではない。
No, that hasn't happened yet.
最初の一手で排除し、都合のいいように扱うだけだ。
キャスターのマスターは傀儡だっていうの？キャスターに騙されているか、自分がマスターだって忘れさせられてるとか？
なるほど。本人が意識していないというのは面白いな。本来、サーバントはマスターには手出しができない。マスターを殺害すれば自分が存在できなくなる。逆に、マスターには令状。
I don't know if the tree was hot. You'll have to Google it, because unfortunately, that's just something I've heard. I've never actually like dug down and figured that out myself.
となると、
But yes, I think it was something special, not the ordinary tree. Tosaka ponders, but I'm not convinced.
そうかな。キャスターはあれだけの悪事を働いてるだろう。それをマスターに隠している。
Yeah, Zeus has no right to marry anyone who's such a player.
サーバントが強ければ強いほど、
Not even a
マス
player,
タ
he's
ーだ
just
っ
a
て警
horn
戒心を
dog.
持つんじゃないか。
He didn't have like the skills, he just put it in.
その点は問題ない。絵に描いたようなお人よしがマスターであるなら、都合のいい言い訳などいくらでもできる。キャスターのマスターもそういう善人なのかもしれんぞ。
おい、なんだって俺を見て言うんだよ、お前。
何ここに前例があるからな。
Yeah, it's safe to say that Archer's pretty familiar with the other servants around here.
ゼロではない。
なるほど。確かにあなたの言い分には一理ありますね、アーチャー。
Hey, why are you agreeing, Saber?
オッケー、分かったわ。キャスターのマスターがどんなやつであれ、とにかく明日も学校に来る可能性は高いでしょ。私たちは引き続き学校の調査で、キャスターのマスターを発見次第襲撃でいいわね。
まあそれが妥当な線だけど、どうやって探せばいいんだ。
それは今日の宿題。各自家に帰って考えること。
If she makes a good waifu, I'll want to learn all about them. That's a good question. In the original Grail War, what on earth did Reen, who did she summon instead?
どのみちエミヤ君とセイバーは疲れてるでしょ。ここで無理して倒れられても困るし、今日はここで解散しましょう。
いや、そこまで疲れてるわけ。まだこんな時間だし。
いいから言う通りにしなさい。どのみち今日は学校に入れないし、手がかりもゼロでしょ。ここにいても仕方がないし、何よりアーチャーの様子が変だって気づいてないの？昨日の行でエミヤ君と顔合わせなんてしたら、まとまるものもまとまらないじゃない。
わかった。帰る。おとなしく帰るから。
じゃあまた明日ね。もうないだろうけど、夜は気をつけなさいよ。またキャスターなんかに連れ出されたりしたら、それこそ承知しないから。
わかった。わかったから帰る。
それと今日はお疲れ様。ちょっとだけだけど、あなたをマスターだって認めてあげたから。
What are you doing, puppers?
Hi, come here.
Tosaka jumps away from me.
行くわよ、あーちゃん。帰ったら本気でさっきの不始末を追求するからね。
ああ、やはりそうきたか。どうもな。凛にしては口汚さが足りないと思っていた。
あんたね、ほんと一度とことん白黒つけないとダメなわけ？
Archer and Tosaka leave, arguing.
俺たちも帰ろうか。確かに少し疲れたし、今日は早めに夕食にしよ
う。いいですね。その意見には賛成です、シロ。
Typically, a servant will have their memories of their past, obviously, but not of previous Grail Wars. The ones that are cheating that truth would be Emiya, as well as Saber. They're pretty much the only two I'm aware of right now that do that. FGO throws that whole thing asunder because the Chaldea summoning system's different. We leave the woods quietly so we wouldn't be seen by anyone. Yeah. I'll pull myself together, go shopping in the shopping district, make a big dinner, and take a rest. We'll talk about Castor and her master after that. Tosaka calls me after dinner. I guess there wasn't as much damage as we thought there would be at school. It must be because the one who set up the boundary field, Ryder, died quickly. I hear the students that were in the same classroom as Ryder need to stay in the hospital for a long time, but most of the students just have anemia. What happened to all their melting flesh, Shiro? School's not going to close down, and we'll be having classes like normal tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? The Japanese are barbaric. Their school gets attacked. Every single student passes out, all needing a massive hospitalization. And they're just like, well, can't have them miss a day of school.
シロ、 リンは何と言ってきたのですか？
Something about that just pisses me off.
あ、学校はいつも通りだって。だから明日も学校に行ってキャスターのマスターを探すことになる。
そうですか。ではあの建物にいた人々に大事はなかったのですね。
Return to your slumber. That's a weird one because Artori doesn't talk about Kiritsugu a whole bunch, because she, first of all, doesn't know what Shiro thinks of him. She's kind of quietly listening. But also, she doesn't have much experience. As far as, like, she was with the whole Grail War with this guy, but she doesn't know much about him. She never really spoke to him much. She was with Irisville the whole time.
一部を除いてはな。あ、藤姉が帰ってこないのは職員会議か何かで忙しいからだと思う。
それはよかった。大河のことですから、明日の朝には何事もなく食卓に座っているでしょう。
Yeah, that's a relief for me as well. Well, since her energy is extraordinary, I stopped worrying about her when I heard everyone's all right.
ではシロ、先ほどの話の続きですが。
She leans over the table with a serious face.
やっぱり諦めてなかったのか、セイバー。
当然です。昨夜のような失態を繰り返さないためにも、私はシロの部屋で眠ります。
That's exactly what they are saying, Miku. They never end, with the exception of the letter N, they don't end any word with a consonant. So saying saber, they can't do that. That's like, if they were to say something like trouble or whatever, it's like trouble, you know, that kind of thing. They have to have one of the vowels at the end because it's always a consonant vowel combination. So se, I, ba is exactly how you do say saber, because it's katakana, saber is a foreign word. And they just say it how they can sound it out the best they can. I do have complaints. Having Saber sleep in the same room as me is like telling me to die. Dumbass. Dumbass.
シロ、元はといえば、あれほど離れた場所からの遠隔催眠にかかるあなたが悪い。私ではキャスターの魔術からシロを守ることはできないのですから、せめて同じ部屋にいるのは当然でしょう。魔術の感知は近ければ近いほどいい。キャスターがシロを狙うのなら、私とて離れて眠るなどできません。
いや、それは全くもって正論なんだが、セイバー。
I think that Castor won't use the same strategy since she failed once. I think so, but if I say that Saber right now...
甘い。先ほどのデザート、白玉あんみつチョコまんじゅう並みに甘い。そのような考えだからこそ、キャスターなどという土下道にたぶらかされた挙句、アーチャーのような少年のねじれ曲がった野郎に罵倒されるのです。
I bet she would object like that.
聞いているのですか、シロ。私が女性だからなどという言い訳は聞きません。今夜からシロの部屋で睡眠をとりますから、夜な夜な土蔵などに逃げ出さぬように。
That could make a lot of sense. It would be really cool. I mean, Issei isn't a Magus as far as I know, but it would be really interesting to see that kind of a situation happen. Or like him become a pseudo-servant. Although every character in Fate's Day Night's a damn pseudo-servant these days. Saber glares at me and makes her declaration. Ugh. So she even anticipated that I was going to run away to the shed. I'll hold my ground and try to get her to agree on a
わかっ
compromise.
た。セイバーにはすぐ近くで眠ってもらう。
ようやく承知しましたか。ええ、マスターとしてそれが当然の選択です。
けど何も同じ部屋ってわけじゃないぞ。俺の部屋、隣に空き部屋があるのを知ってるだろう。襖で締め切った向こう。
ええ、知っていますが。
その寝込みを守るってんならあそこで十分だろ。いや、そもそも同じ部屋で寝てたらむしろすぐ隣でセイバーが待機しててくれた方が油断して襲っ。
Oh, I think that sounds pretty logical.
それで十分だろう、セイバー。正直あの狭い部屋で2人っていうのも無理がある。物理的に眠れない。サーバントとして
You can't physically fit in that room. Dude, that room is pretty big. You had sex in that room in the previous route. There's
今夜
plenty
は
of
やけに
room.
弁が立ちますね、シロ。わかりました。多少言い訳じみたものを感じますが、いいでしょう。その案で手を打ちます。
There are multiple means of doing mana transfer that doesn't just have to do with sex. I guess sex is one hell of a good way to do it. But, like we've seen before, you can also do things like sucking blood. There are other mage rituals. Exchanging really any type of bodily fluid can do that. And of course, this is pre-Rialta Nua. Everything past that, they have to, like, come up with weird magical rituals to do everything instead of having sex. Good. Man, being a master is hard enough. If I sleep in the same room as Saber on top of that, I bet my brain will overheat. Pansy! Pansy, pansy, pansy. And the chaotic day comes to an end. It's becoming more like a habit now as I've trained with Saber, until 11 and spent an hour doing my routine in the shed. I get back to my room when the date changes. I hear Saber's breathing from the next room. My heart jumps at that, but I try to calm down as I get into my futon. I close my eyes, shake off any wicked thoughts, and tell myself to go to sleep as fast as I can.
ってそう簡単に眠れるか、バカ。
I try not to be conscious of Saber and recall what happened today. We have dolphins here? I'm afraid not in this stream anyway. The Red School, the boundary field of blood that would have created lots of victims if we hadn't stopped it. That causes my restless mind to stop. The students on the floor of the red classroom. She was desperately bearing all of it, right her on the floor, and the students that looked like they were dead. Oh, I remember now. At that instant, I figured out the deep part of her.
次に会ったら殺すわ。だって敵同士でしょ、私たち。
It doesn't have to be a Yuri sex. Like I said, you could have your servant, like, suck your blood. That's one thing that they could do. But in that regard, a bit of scissoring would be approved of as well, I'd imagine. She's firm, strong-willed, and magnificent, but she's outrageously good-natured. That difference must be her burden. How clumsy of her. The more she tries to act as a Magus, the more she kills her true self as Tosakarin.
いや、俺も。
Shut up, Shiro! I sigh and put the blanket over my head. Well, I guess there's something wrong with me. For thinking that I want to be a support for such a perfect girl. You love her, Shiro. It's what you do in this route. I see a dream. I see a memory that I cannot reach through a small connected circuit. For what did he fight, and for what did he keep running? He never told anyone about his motives. Everyone around him saw him as either obstinate or a weird person. And on top of it all, he didn't talk too much, so I bet he was thought to be ruthless. His intentions were not known. At the very least, nobody knew about them. He never talked about his intentions even after he became a hero and was burdened with many things. That's why he appeared suspicious to people around him. It's because nobody knows his intention. He conveniently saves people in danger, but nobody knows why he is doing what he does. See, it's inevitable that people would feel uneasy about him. He should have had a reason. Greed, pride, selfishness, lust, vengeance, or devotion. Simple reasons like those, which are easy to understand. If he'd had any one of them, such an end would not have awaited him. His reward for success was always betrayal. The things he picked up sifted through his fingers like grains of sand. He got used to it. He got used to it like an idiot. From the very beginning, his reward was not what he received from the people he saved, but the pure action of saving someone. The repetition of it makes me so mad that I want to punch him, and it also makes me want to cry. The reason he was called a hero. His intention was never revealed to anyone. Nobody around him knew, and he, the only one who had to know, eventually forgot about it himself. That is why I shed tears in spite of myself. To the miracle that in the long, long path between the start and the goal, where what is right or wrong is not definite, he never strayed from his original goal. And the end comes. An excellent savior is only trouble for everyone except the ones he saves. He knew his limits and the vastness of the world. He accepts what can be saved and what cannot be saved. That is why he at least wanted people within his sight to be happy. Many scorned it as hypocrisy and blind idealism. There were more enemies than allies, and he died at their hands. So this is not a place in this world. This place is the end of him, the illusion that he saw on the verge of his death, the only pride he had within himself. The hero that used this scenery as his final weapon falls into his own darkness at the end. The hill of swords that he reached. His battle ends atop this hill, surrounded by rusted steel without a wielder. He is alone. But he thinks there is nothing to regret if he was able to save everyone that appeared within his sight. And he smiles in satisfaction, lets go of the sword, and crumples down. That's why he never had any regrets. His objective was already accomplished long ago. From the start, he ran with his utmost effort, not for himself, but for strangers, who shouldn't have any meaning to him. I rub my drowsy eyes and get up. It's 5:30 in the morning. I don't feel sleepy, so I guess I was able to sleep well last night in spite of everything.
単純にできてるんだな、俺。
I grumble while getting out of the futon and change into my uniform. I can hear faint breathing if I strain my ears. I feel Saber's presence on the other side of the sliding door. The instant I wonder what she looks like when she's sleeping, my head blows up. Game over.
朝飯だ。朝飯を作ろう。
That's good, that's good. I shake the indecent thought out of my head and go out of my room quietly. The breakfast table. My expectation that it would be a quiet breakfast considering what happened yesterday.
そこでそのお医者さん、なんて言ったと思う？藤村さんは稀に見る健康体ですから、献血でもしていったらどうですか？わっはっはっは。私だって病人だって言うの。ああ、もう次からあんなところ行かないんだから。
Is totally destroyed by Fujine, who is more energetic than usual. In terms of horse racing, this development is the dark horse, but something tells me this must have been the likely outcome.
あ、お味噌汁おかわり。玉ねぎ抜いてね。
はいよ。で、それから倒れた生徒はいろんな病院に運ばれたって言うけど、みんなすぐに気がついたのか。
Sex has not happened yet.
そうね。個人差はあるけど、昨日中には回復したはずよ。4回。1年生の子たちはただ眠ってたのと大差なくて、2年生の子たちは記憶が飛んでる子もいたみたい。3年生の子は 2階の教室にいた子より大事はなかったけど、1階の教室はちょっとね。
Fujine looks down as though it's difficult for her to talk about it. I feel bad. Fujine has gone to all hospitals in this town. She has seen just what kind of conditions the students on the first floor classrooms were in.
ごめん、この話はもうやめる。ともかく学校はいつも通りなんだろう。
うん。けど3年生はもうじき自主登校だし、体調が悪い子は休んでいいことになってる。3年の子たちほとんどが休むんじゃないかな。
I think Taiga was looking for the chance to be pampered a little bit. It did not happen. It will happen at the end of the route, right before they go to the final boss. I see. Then it'll mostly be first and second years coming to school today.
なあ藤根、うちの学校でさ、竜道寺の関係者って誰かな？
一星君じゃないの？彼お寺の跡取りでしょ？
だよな。はい、なんでもないから忘れてくれ。
I put my bowl down while looking up at the ceiling. The only one connected to Ryudo Temple at our school is Issei, but it's too soon to decide whether he's a master, and most of all, I don't think he is a master.
じゃあ行ってくる。留守番よろしくな、セイバー。
シローも気をつけて。あの校舎から結界がなくなったとしても、キャスターのマスターがいる以上は油断できません。
分かってる。キャスターのマスターを見つけたら、まずここに帰ってきてセイバーに報告するよ。
はい。期待に添えるよう、私も魔力を回復させておきましょう。
Saber sees me off. It seems Fujine has more things to take care of regarding the incident yesterday, and she went to the hospital right after breakfast. The school doesn't look any different after such an incident. It's 7:30 in the morning and the school gate is filled with students. The students are talking about what happened yesterday, creating a rather noisy scene. So, in the middle of it all, in front of the school gate is an angry Tosaka, standing there like an angry devil. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling, but I can't sneak past her since she's in the middle of the road.
よ、おはよう、トサカ。
I stop and greet her.
つまり一星が怪しいと思うのよ。
Whoa. First thing she says is straight to the point.
怪しいって何がさ？
キャスターのマスター、竜道寺に巣を張ってるキャスターと竜道寺から学校に通ってる一星、これで因果関係がないはずない？
ないって、そんなの偶然の一致かもしんないだろ。
I try to defend Issei.
そんなわけないじゃない。いい？ここ数週間竜道寺の山門はずっと閉じられているのよ。部外者は入れないし、寺から外に出てきたのは一星ぐらいのもんなんだから。これで怪しくなかったら真犯人は誰でもいいってレベルでしょ。
あのさ、外に出ないって言うけど、普通お坊さんは頻繁に寺から出てこないもんじゃないのか？
バカ、あんたいつの時代の人間よ。檀家周りあっての総門でしょ。山寺に引きこもってお賽銭だけで食っていけるんだったら。
Tosaka might be serious. If Issei was here, I'm sure he'd be yelling that she's an offering thief. I'm not interested in what's going on with the temple, but that's not the problem, or he is interested. I should worry more about our surroundings. We're at the school gate. Students coming to the school are all around us. They're all paralyzed at the reckless speech of our school top idol, Reen.
何よその目。何？エミヤ君は一星をかばうってわけ？
Yes, a master can make a contract with a servant without their master.
いいわよ私は。あなたが現実的な推測を無視するって言うんなら、こっちだって勝手にやるんだから。
But our school idol is the only one who does not realize the situation.
トサカ、ちょっとこっち来い。
何よ、逃げる気？
But if you use your final That's kind of weird. If you use your final command seal, what's stopping you from running right back up to your own servant and then resubmitting re-establishing a connection? You could get infinite command seals by doing it that way.
逃げない。いいからこっち。
I dragged Tosaka by her hand.
ちょっとエミヤくん。
She can complain later. Just get me away from here as fast as I can. The morning practice must be cancelled because of yesterday's incident, and the archery range is quiet. Good. We won't attract attention here. So the remaining problem is... Tosaka, who's glaring at me silently.
分かってる。遠坂の言いたいことぐらい俺だって分かってる。分かってるからそんな顔するな。遠坂にすねられるとどうしていいか分からない。
すねてなんかない。
My mind is stunned at the lightning comeback, but I have to deal with her calmly. Issei's life is on the line. Knowing Tosaka, I bet she would do something reckless to test Issei.
あなたこそごまかさないで。キャスターの本拠地は竜道寺で、一世は竜道寺から学校に来ているのよ。
Tosaka yells at me. She's right, but I don't think it's Issei.
何よ、反論があるっていうの？
But I'll die before... Oh, but I'll die before Issei if I give her such an ambiguous answer. But I can't leave Tosaka like this, so I'll have to try to convince her somehow.
よし。どうしても一世が怪しいって言うんだな、遠坂は。
そうよ。エミヤくんにはわからないかもしれないけど、今の竜道寺はとにかく変なの。
You say 3 for each servant, but... It is true that a master that's lost their servant can form another pact.
キャスターが根城にしているってこともあるんだけど、それにしたって揺らぎが大きすぎるっていうか、集まりやすすぎるっていうか。
集まりやすすぎる。それって街から吸い上げてるっていう魔力のこと？
それは関係ないことだから気にしないで。
Well, yeah, ruler changes everything. You're more suspicious than Issei right now, Tosaka.
ともかく、そんなところから涼しい顔でやってきてる時点であいつは怪しいの。ええ、前からあいつには一発蹴り入れてやんなきゃなんないって思ってたし、今回の件はちょうどいいわ。
Don't kick Issei. Tosaka's serious. I heard that they weren't on friendly terms, but I didn't know it was this bad. Actually, what the hell did Issei do to Tosaka? I'm a bit curious as to what could cause Tosaka to be so drastic. No, now's not the time.
そうだな。一世の立場が疑わしいってのには俺も同感だ。
Okay, fair enough. I see what you're saying.
当然よ。これ以上かばったりしたらそれこそ同罪なんだから。
なあ、だから一世のことは俺に任せてくれ。はい。
Whoa. It looks like she doesn't believe me at all.
信じろ。一世が友人だからって手加減はしないし、遠坂にも嘘はつかない。だいたいそんな心配はいらないんだ。一世があんな非道をするわけないんだから。
That's true. The command cells do disappear. The silent pressure continues. I bet Tosaka's worried that I might go easy because Issei's my friend. Her doubt is only natural, so I just have to endure it. I have to get her to believe in me.
わかったわよ。一世のことはあなたに任せる。
遠坂。
I sigh with relief.
けど、どうやって見極めるのよ。エミヤくん、マスターの見分け方覚えたの？
Tosaka asks about the fundamental deficiency in this proposal.
ま まさかいつもの調子で「おい一星、お前マスターか?」なんて問いただすわけじゃないでしょうね。いくら協力関係でもね、そんなたわけたことをやろうって言うんなら、ここであなたとの決着をつけてやるわよ。
She's mad. She's really mad.
また大丈夫、聞かなくてもマスターかどうか分かる手段はある。一世の件は今日中に白黒つけるから、遠坂はおとなしくしていてくれ。結果が分かったら連絡を入れるから。
そうね、協力関係ってこういうことだし。
She starts walking away with a gesture that obviously tells me she's not content.
信頼してるわ。けどあんまりバカなことはしないでよ。もし一星がそうだった場合、下手な行動は命取りになるんだから。
Saying so, Tosaka goes back to the school building. I see her off.
今の
I realize that she might have been worried about me. It's lunchtime, so I go to the student council room.
邪魔するぞ。
I call out and open the door.
おう、今日はここで昼食か、エミヤ。
Oh, don't mind me. I've just got my hands conspicuously in my pants next to my loins. Good, this is convenient.
どうだ調子は。昨日の事件どんな塩梅になったんだよ。
I sit down at the table and start talking casually.
それが説明されずじまいだ。1階の空き教室に置かれていた薬品がどうしたとか、そんな当たり障りのない話だよ。
He must be unhappy and he starts biting on a tough-looking carrot.
しかしお前も運がいいな。昼休みから珍しくサブリかと思えば難を逃れたという。うん、普段の行いがようやく報われたということか。
He now sips his tea happily. Man. This isn't the right atmosphere to interrogate him, so I'll wait and see for a while. My Japan trip was amazing. I loved it. Dragon fire. Do the sex scenes have sounds? I wish, but they do not. Suddenly, I notice lunch break will be over in 5 minutes.
ん？どうしたエミヤ？何かひらめいたか？
ひらめきはしないが思い出した。のんきに弁当食ってる場合じゃなかった。
I quickly wrap around my lunchbox and turn to Issei.
不穏な空気。言っておくが金の無心はするな。ねだられてもないものはない。
I get up from my chair. I don't have time. I take a deep
一
breath.
世、何も聞かずに上着を脱げ。
I clearly state what needs to be done.
なんでそう
だから制服を脱げ。上着だけじゃなくてシャツもだ。裸じゃないと意味がない。
何を言い出すかと思えば正気か貴様。あれか、新手の押し問答か、そもさんなのか。
そう、せっぱせっぱ。いいから脱げ。放課後になったら手遅れなんだから。
I attack Issei.
ああ、やめるかたわけ。貴様それでも武家の息子か。
よし。
To summarize, I didn't find a command spell on Issei's body. I checked thoroughly, but I didn't find anything like a command
よ
spell.
かった。いや、ほんとよかった。
I nod to myself.
何が良いものか。貴様、ここまでやっておきながら何もないとはどういうことだ。
なあ、そうか。悪かった、伊勢。事情は話せないんだが、どうしても調べたいことがあったんだ。
I bow and apologize.
悪いことをしたと思うのなら謝罪の一つもするというもの。
Issei goes silent with a serious face. But now the search has gone back to square one if Issei, the one at Ryudo Temple, is innocent. There's nobody else that might be Castor's master.
なあ一星、最近寺の方で変わったことはないか？
ん？変わったことというと？
わからない。ただ今までとは違うこととかないかな？
そうだな。最近の話なら見慣れない女が一人いるぐらいか。だがそれだけだ。親父も兄貴たちも静かなもんだぞ。
Issei says so naturally. There's an unfamiliar woman. Could that be Castor? Well, I'm sure she could pretend to be a human without a problem. Or would that be Castor's master? Maybe I should ask Issei about it. I'm feeling ballsy. Let's right out there ask him. I guess I'll ask him about it. She's not one to reveal herself to the ones living at the temple, but it might not be. But I might be able to get some clues.
一星、その見慣れない女ってどんなやつなんだ？外国から来たとか、いつもターバンみたいな布で顔を隠しているとか。
なんだそれは。そのような怪しい女ならばすぐさま放り出している。どんな思惑で知りたがるのかは聞かないが、兄貴などは毒札なんだと喜んでおるが、俺は不思議と気に入っていてな。一度しか話したことはないのだが、悪ぶっているように見えるが根は善人だ。
ありゃ、聞いてみるもんだな。一星が女の人を褒めるなんて。なんだ、もう
バカを言うな。
バカ。
あの女が自分でも気づいていない部分の話だ。大体だな。兄と仰ぐ総一郎の相手に化粧するなど。
Issei suddenly stops and lowers his head. I don't know if he felt dizzy or what, but Issei falls on the table and does not move.
どうした一星？貧血か？
What's up, boy?
いや、体の調子が悪いのではない。
He raises himself real fast. I laugh, thinking he's acting like a coiled doll.
一星。
I look at Issei, without looking at my slashed stomach.
獲物がかかった。私を追求する者に遭遇した場合のみ、この人間に植え付けた命令が作動する。この人形ももういらない。
Ooh! The knife in Issei's hand is stabbed into Issei's neck. My mind fades from too much blood loss. The wound reaching my organs is not causing my consciousness to fade. My brain that was to deny the scene in front of me freezes my consciousness. Issei falls down before me, not knowing what went on. I collapse onto the floor from my knees. I do not hold my wound, and I blankly stare at my friend, who is now a corpse. Dead end. You'd think a slash across the stomach is not as bad as the other things that have happened to poor little Jiro. But that particular scene scared the shit out of me at first. I was like, whoa, when those eyes were all dark and creepy.
Yay! That's 5 stairs!
What the fuck you just said?
Yeah!
What the hell are you saying?
Sate, 注意1秒怪我一生。誰彼構わずむやみに聞けばいいってものじゃないのよ、エンド。どうだったかな？
あまりにも理不尽&唐突なし、これぞフェイトって感じで最高であります、師匠。
だが我々はこの犠牲を忘れてはならない。さあ、竜斗君に黙祷3秒。
3秒といういいスタート差がさらに最高であります、師匠。
My condolences.
でさ、イリアちゃん、
As Altina says, press F to pay respects.
キャスターが作った人工的なレジを組み込まれていて、キャスターの参加条を破って
I already got all the Taiga JoJos. I just thought this was one particularly entertaining death, so I decided to do it.
あいつ道具を作るのうまいから、シローだってあいつに捕まったら魔術補佐の限定霊装にされかねないよ。
悪！キャスターは悪認定！他人を己が意のままにしようなどと教育者として許しません。
別にそれだけで悪いっていうのはどうかと思うけど、キャスターは確かに小物で臆病で狡猾だけど、根はまだ悪人になりきれてないし。
なぜかような魔女をかばう弟子1号、何か思うところがあるの？
別にそういうわけじゃないよ。私はただ魔術で誰かを拘束してもそれ自体は悪いことじゃないって言いたいだけだったり。
あ、思い出した。イリアちゃんもっとひどいことシローにやってきたじゃない。
ちくしょう、バレたかこんちくしょうめ。なぜかその市内には勝てません。
当然よ。この道場では魔術は一切禁止なんだから。弟子1号が私に勝つには野生のライオンとか近代兵器を持ってくるしかないんだから。さあ、いい加減反省した？
はーい、もう悪いことはいたしません。
うん、いい子だ。これで少年の願いも叶ったというもの。喜べ弟分。このルートではイリアちゃんはおとなしめだぞ。
More like you don't see Elia much in this route.
はいはい、今回はおとなしくしてればいいんでしょ。まあ、いつも暴れっぱなしっていうのも芸がないしね。
なあ、そこまで考えていたというの？反則コスだけでは飽き足らず、本編でそんな美味しいシチュエーションさえ演じるなんて。イリア、怖い子。
Oh, we done fucked up. We done fucked up. Can't just inquire about Castor recklessly. No, it'll be dangerous to talk about this. Issei's living at the Ryudo Temple. If he gets suspicious of this strange woman, Issei might get curious and do something. And if that woman happens to be a master, Issei would be in danger. This is it for today. I'll call it good since I found out Issei's unrelated to the Holy Grail War.
ああ、そういえばエミヤ、シンジの妹、今日はいなかったな。
さくら、今日学校休んでるのか？
シンジも休んでいただろう。二人とも無断欠席。うちで何かあったのではないかと職員室で問題になっている。
I'm at a loss for words, being confronted with a problem I'd forgotten.
お、昼休みも終わりだな。教室に戻ろう。
Issei pushes me out of the student council room. All the while, thoughts of Sakura's absence and what Shinji may have done after losing Ryder twirl around in my head. Oof. Yorokobe, motherfucker! It is a sound like hitting steel. He arrives at the place, breathing heavily. His footsteps are loud and the rhythm is unsettled. He leaves the door open and staggers forward, as if pulled by his falling body. He looks around. The church is empty with the morning service already over. The only light is the sunlight coming in from overhead. The silence creates a solemn atmosphere, and stopped space creates a clear silence. He is like a heresy in it all. No, that's not accurate. To say he arrived is not correct. His ragged breath, his unfocused eyes, his shaking limbs are like those of someone running away. He has come here to find shelter. Now everything makes sense. His desperation is like that of prey being chased by a hound. Woof.
戦いが始まって6日。ここに足を運んだのは君が初めてだ。
Yes, Shinji's here to plead for more Saint Courts. He straightens his body that's about to fall onto the ground. When did he appear? He looks with bloodshot eyes at the priest before the altar and he says something. The priest frowns. He did not completely understand the boy, but it seems he is asking for help. He wants protection. A master that has lost his servant may ask for protection under the condition that he withdraw from the war. The place of retreat, the last sanctuary, is the church. And the master of this place is the priest called Kotomine Kire.
では戦いを放棄するのか少年。
The boy reacts like fire to the quiet voice.
当たり前だ。僕に死ねって言うのか。いいか。サーバントがいないんじゃ殺しようがないし、マスターなんてやってられない。僕は普通の人間なんだ。いわば被害者側だろ。そういうのを狙って。
The priest does not answer and only looks at the intruder, as if to peer within his skin, bones, and meat.
なんだよ。なんか文句あるのかよ。
意見などない。君は今回一人目の放棄者であり、我が教会始まって以来の使用者だ。管理者としてここに根付いた父に代わり丁重にもてなそう。
なんだよ。リタイアしたのは僕だけだっていうのか。くそ、みっともない。こんなことじいさんに知られたらなんて言われるか。ああ、それもこれもお前たちのせいだぞ。ライダーなんてカスをつかませやがって、あんまりにも不公平じゃないか。
He strikes the ground in rage. The sound of the punch echoes like a bell, and the priest smiles with great interest.
ではライダーは役に立たなかったと。
So Ryder was useless?
そうだよ。たく、大口叩きやがって。
Shinji's a sexist motherfucker.
あいつ、この僕があんなに手を貸してやったのにあっけなく死にやがった。ああ、それでも僕はうまくやった。ちゃんとじいさんの言いつけ通りやって準備は万全だったんだ。だっていうのにあいつら揃って邪魔をしやがって。2対1だぞ。そんなの勝ち目なんてないじゃないか。そうだ、負けたのは僕のせいじゃない。
Yeah, it wasn't my wait.
単にサーバントの質の差なんだ。それをあいつら偉そうに勝ち誇った顔しやがって。
He crawls to the ground. He hits the floor, grieves his misfortune, and reflects on his obstacles. But his resentful voice disappears quickly. Hatred of this level cannot break the silence in this church.
くそくそくそ。
He repeats his agony. In the midst of it, tap. Chill out, boy. The priest's footsteps echo through the room as if to break the frozen air. The priest slowly puts his hand on the boy's shoulder.
つまり君にはまだ戦う覚悟はあるということだ。
I will fight for my right. To whine like a little bitch. He looks down at the loser and says so with a kind voice. Huh? He cannot understand the priest's words. The priest in black has a friendly smile on his face.
君は運がいい。ちょうど一人手の空いているサーバントがいてね。
The priest offers a new salvation as if suppressing his joy. School's over. It must be because of what happened yesterday. The students are not allowed to stay at school for any reason. There's still time until the sun sets. We can make a meal for Saber or talk to Tosaka. Whatever you want. Pick your poison. 3. We got 1 for 3. Three, 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 2, 2. Getting close. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. We got 2, 2. Shit. Which one won the more? 1, 2. Yeah. I guess the waifu wins.
商店街今日特売だったっけ？
Saber is looking forward to dinner, so it might be good to make an expensive meal today. I can contact Tosaka after I get home. And veal, too. It's just rare, expensive, and doesn't taste that different, but I fell for the butcher's sale and bought it.
まあいいけど安かったから。
You suck, Shiro! You got swindled. I can consider that I've blown a day's worth of work on it. Saber looks like she likes meat. We've been having home cooking all these times, so I'm sure she'll be happy if I make something like a Western-style full course.
これで前菜からデザートとチーズまで用意できたら文句なしなんだが、セイバーはともかく藤姉までそんなグルメな真似をさせたら後で。
I see something strange out of the corner of my eye. I wonder what it is, and turn to the cake shop, Fleur. Sala! Is that some kind of a uniform? The girl wearing a uniform unfit for this downtown area is troubling the woman at the cake shop. I get curious and stop. From what I can hear, it seems the money the girl is trying to pay with is not Japanese yen, and the woman at the cake shop is stunned as to what she can do. And on top of that, it seems like the girl can't speak much Japanese. Well, I got a bargain. I guess I'll do something about it since I happened to walk by. I'm thanked twofold and leave the cake shop.
ありがとう。ケーキ、助かった。
The girl thanks me as well, in funny Japanese. But I haven't done much. All I did was money exchange, and I just traded the 2,000 yen bills I had with the paper money she had.
お釣り、余ったから。
ね、あいや、さっきので十分だって。10フラン紙幣ちゃんと2枚もらったから。
The girl dressed like Nightingale looks around absent-mindedly.
買い物終わったから。さよなら。 She bows and leaves. I watch her go thinking to myself about the usual event. Then,
ああ、そうだ。ケーキ好きなの？
I get curious and ask her. The girl in white stops and stares around absent-mindedly.
ゼラ、こういう庶民の味好きだから。 She's one of Ilya's caretakers, one of the other homunculi made by the Einsburns that is still useful, but definitely not the one they were trying to create. Ilya's sort of the product of that. She gives a vague answer. I check the student directory as soon as I get home and call Tosaka. Ring, 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 ring. Tosaka-chan. She picks up after dozens of rings, and right when I was about to give up... The voice is definitely
もし
Tosaka's.
もし、エミヤだけど、今時間いいか？
はあ？何ふざけてんのよ。ってあれ？
あのな、お前にいたずら電話かけるほど余裕ないぞ。
そういうんじゃなくて、ごめん、 ちょっとびっくりしただけ。
何かって一星のことだよ。朝約束しただろ。今日中にはっきりさせるって。結論から言うと一星はマスターじゃなかったから。
本当？驚いたわ。本当に今日中に調べるなんて。けど一星は白か。
I don't know if she's relieved or disappointed. I can't grasp her reaction too well over the phone.
とにかくご苦労様。マスター探しの方針はまた明日考えるとして。
I don't have any more business, but there's something I'm curious
そうさ
about.
か。さっき驚いてたみたいだけど、そっちで何かあったのか？
I can feel Tosaka's bewilderment over the phone. After a brief silence,
別に。あなたの声、電話だと少し違って聞こえたから驚いただけよ。
she answers in a cold voice and hangs up the phone. Dinner ends before I realize it. I came home, trained with Saber in the dojo, then Fujine came home and I made dinner. We ate it together and now it's already past 8.
セイバーちゃん、もしかしてあっちじゃ有名な達人さんなの？セイバーちゃんが教え出してからこっち、シロったら別人みたいなんだけど。
それは私も驚いています。ですがシロの死は別にいるようですから、私の手腕ではありません。
We're drinking after the after-meal tea now. It's good that Fujine and Saber are getting along. I don't want to interrupt, so I'll quietly drink tea and rest my body while that is tired from training with Saber.
師匠が2人？ありゃ、二股かけてるってことかなそれ。
本人に自覚はないようですが、まあ結果がいいので黙認することにしました。確かにシロは自分に合った戦法を身につけた方がいい。体はとうに出来上がっているのですから、あとは自身をうまく動かす思考を組み込むだけです。
あ、セイバーちゃんわかってるじゃない。そうそう、シロはずっと鍛えてきたんだから、体はしっかりしてるのよ。今まではね、本人にやる気がなかっただけなんだから。
体を鍛える。
She's talking about how Shiro fights with Archer's
あのよ
style
うな道場
instead
があ
of
ったのな
hers.
ら、鍛錬にも身が入りましょう。
She nods emotionally and takes a sip of tea. Then,
あの道場で剣道をするのは久しぶりだよ。セイバーちゃんが来るまであそこは剣道場じゃなかったもん。
Fujine corrects Saber while biting on a rice cracker.
剣道場ではなかった。シロは道場で竹刀を持たなかったのですか？
Saber looks at me with surprise.
まあそうだけど、親父が死んでからは使わなかったからな。
そうよ。シロ、暇さえあればキリツグさんと試合してたのに、キリツグさんが亡くなったら途端に竹刀を持たなくなってさ。私は悲しかったな。
Munch munch. Fujimura Taiga, you know, Tiger, nibbles on a rice cracker while resting her head on the table. I have a bad feeling about this. When Fujine acts like this, the conversation always goes to...
ああ、どうしてかな。あの頃は剣道少年だったのに、今じゃプー太郎だよ。そりゃお世辞にも剣の才能はなかったけど、弓道はちょっとこの子大丈夫なのかなって思うぐらいだったのにやめちゃうしさ。
やっぱりそうきたか。藤ね、昔の話なんてやめろよな。後ろ向きだぞ、そういうの。
I glare at her. Fujine sulks and eats the rice cracker. Whew. It seems she's done now.
ほう、シロの幼年期の話ですか。
So why do you have to bring the conversation back up again, Saber?
何？聞きたい聞きたい。
興味があります。
Oh no! Baby pictures gross! I'm just kidding.
よーし、ならお姉ちゃん話してあげよっかな。
The morale of Fujimura Taiga's army goes up due to the reinforcements brought on by Saber. I guess it can't be helped. I don't want to interrupt, so I guess I'll drink tea silently. I'll carry out my original intention of resting my body.
それでね、今はこんなにひねくれちゃったけど、子供の頃は可愛かったのよ。人のことを疑わなかったし、お願いすれば何でも二つ返事で引き受けてくれたり。
That's mostly still what he's like.
うんうん。
でも妙に頑固なところがあってね、一度決めたことはなかなか変えなかったりしたっけ。
キリツグは素人は正反対だったのですか？
そうだよ。キリツグさんは何でもオッケーって人だったから、いいことも悪いことも人それぞれ、人生なるようになるさって人だったな。そのくせ困ってる人を見たら何とかしちゃうのよね。シローはキリツグさんよりはっきりしてたから、悪いことはダメだって町のいじめっ子をバンバン叩いてたっけ。うん、その時からシローは正義の味方だったんだ。
Fujine happily talks about boring things, and beside Fujine,
なぜシローは正義の味方なのですか？
いや、なぜって聞かれても困る。
憧れている。その正義の味方に。
うん、まあそうだけど。
それはどうして？
どうしてって。
I realized at that moment, there's no reason. Emiya Shiro has admired superheroes since he was a child. I kept on running so that I could be of help to people, so that I could help people who were sad. That does not change even now, but the reason behind it. Why did I try to be of help to people? I'll make your dream. That's the answer. That was the end of the person that meant everything to me. He died peacefully because of a simple statement I made. You're a murderer! I wanted to protect that trust he had in me, even after he died, so that he would be able to rest in peace. But is that really the right reason?
シロー。
I hear my name and get a hold of myself.
いや、悪い。先に戻る。
Driven by unknown uneasiness, I get up. I leave the living room as if running away from something. No, not as if. I did run away. It was a natural question, but I was scared something might be revealed if Saber stared at me like that.
なんで？何が怖い？
She's very perceptive.
An uneasiness that I don't understand myself. A shapeless fear and attacking nausea. I hurried to my room, bearing the headache. Fujine went home, saying that she had work to do tonight. See ya. Saber is sleeping in the next room like yesterday. I can't sleep tonight either, so I stare into the darkness. It's not that I can't sleep because I'm conscious of Saber. Hello! Why do you try to be a superhero? It's because of those words. That question is still in my brain. She asked me why, and I answered, because I admire them. Catch you later. It's obvious why I ran away right then. Because if she had asked me why I admired them, I wouldn't be able to come up with an answer. No, I have an answer, but I'm unconsciously restraining myself from ever saying it.
正義の味方である。
Why ask that now? I was just desperate to be like Kiritsugu when I was a child. I admired superheroes because there was an ideal I could not make true. That should be the cause. The true form of the ideal I have, no, the ideal I've had since 10 years ago. I glared into the sky, thinking that if I could save someone, it would be a lie unless I could save everyone. But which one is the lie? The ideal called a superhero that I've admired? The older I get, the more Miyashiro strays from the ideal. The ignorant child that did not know of limits has learned of limits through knowledge. What cannot be saved cannot be saved. A miracle is something too big for humans. But I believed I could be like Kiritsugu when I grew older. But all I had tamed was the wisdom to conclude that an ideal was just an ideal. All I can do are remedial measures. Even though I've been attacked with the fact that it's meaningless, I've continued to do whatever I could. Thinking that it's good enough if one person is saved by my actions. Even though my objective is to save as many lives as I can. I've lost a lot of things on the way, but I continued so that I wouldn't lose. Even if I'm battered by reality, I can keep standing if I don't accept the loss, even if I'm only bluffing. That ideal, the ideal not to hurt anyone, is beautiful. I'll make your dream. Yes, just as I thought that. If nobody was going to do it, I would inherit this dream myself. That's why I must become a superhero. I have to succeed Kiritsugu and protect what he admired. If I can create no victims, and if everyone can keep living peacefully, how good would it?
そんなものはこの世のどこにもありはしない。
うるさい。やってみなくちゃわからないだろう。
He told me to drown in my ideals and die. Those words are ominous as if correctly predicting Miyashiro's end.
We made it through the night.
Here's a black Bedivere, what the hell? And I see his dream. The memory of the man who was set up as a hero, a story of a knight who was understood by no one. It was a simple story. In short, there was something wrong with him. He had some power and he had some ambition. But he used his powers at the wrong places from beginning to end and he died. It's only natural. Power exists to grant your own wishes. Compassion does no good for others. Kirei says so often, but everything is balanced because everything you do comes back to you. One gets energy because of those actions circle around to create more energy. But not having that means never being replenished. For example, if one lives for others and not oneself, I'm sure the world would run out of power right away. If there were such a thing as disposable money, that's what it would be like. I'll be used by strangers, and it only disappear after it's used. It's easy to take advantage of it, and that it being used is already a given. But not having that means never being replenished. For example, if one lives near others and not oneself, I'm sure one would run out of power to right away. If there was such a thing as oh wait, whoops, I read that. That was confusing. That's why in the end, he saw many betrayals and his life was ended by someone he saved. That jerk. It just makes me mad. I want to question him. Why? He worked hard, put in great effort, even though he's an ordinary human being, and he managed a miracle with his own blood. And his compensation was betrayal and death. It's not even a joke. He died satisfied. I have no intention of commenting on someone else's life, but I can never accept that one thing. That's my impression of the dream I've seen a few times now. I usually wake up here, but it seems the dream continues today. He is standing in hell. It is a scene of some natural disaster, not the result of human
契
conflict.
約しよう。我が死後を預ける。 その報酬をここにもらい受けたい。
He weaves the words of contract. After that, he changed as though possessed by something and saved people who could not normally be saved. Oh, so this must be how he became... Oh, so this must be how... Yeah, this must be how he became a heroic spirit. Seeing it this way, it's nothing much. I bet the people he saved were not even in the hundreds. He cannot even be called a hero with such a number, nor would he be promoted to a heroic spirit. But the number isn't important. The qualification of a hero, one who surpasses humans, is to be able to save those that are fated to die. It's an alteration of fate. It does not matter if he could not have power as a hero, as long as he averted a disaster that could not be changed, however small in scope. No. The world would obtain a heroic spirit in compensation for the miracle. He became a hero and saved those that could not have been saved. He became a hero and saved those that could... Oh, whoops. As a result, he became a heroic spirit after he died, and he is now repeating what he was doing before he died. Being a servant. I guess compensation for a miracle is to become a convenient disposable tool that will fight for others after one dies. Heroic spirits. Superior spirits chosen from among humans, the guardians of humanity. But they are not ones with free will like the servants. Heroic spirits are guardians of humanity. Guardians do not have free will, and they are treated as powers. They are called forth to protect the world only when the factor appears that they could destroy. They are weapons that destroy these factors. The Guardian system is a summoning ritual that takes advantage of these Guardians. The Guardians are summoned into every age, eliminating the offending factor, and then disappearing from the world. I would hate to be like that, but he must have been prepared to take that on. No, he might have even wished for it. No, it'd be perfect if we could save people even after he died. Even though he did not have the power to save them when he was alive, he must have believed he could avert every tragedy if he became a heroic spirit. With that in mind, he made a contract with the people to give up his body after his death. And he saved 100 people. Believing that, he would not be able to save tens of thousands of people afterwards. How stupid of him. That can't be. Because for the heroic spirit to be called upon, the place would have already had to have had a place of death. They only appear when the world is about to be destroyed by people. Humans are the ones that will perish from their own doings. So the process of destruction must always be the same. Jealousy, hatred, selfishness, desire. The man who loved people and tried to be of help to them was shown the same ugliness even after he died. He was called into such scenes and served his responsibility as a guardian. He killed. He killed and killed and killed. He killed everyone that was around him when he was summoned to save humanity as a whole. I don't know how many times he repeated that, nor do I know how many times he will have to repeat it in the future. So there's only one thing I can say. He has been betrayed by many things, but in the end, he was betrayed by the only thing he believed in, his ideal. When I wake up, that's all I can say. My body feels tired and I can't move at all. My mind is the only thing clear, and I blankly stare at the ceiling. I sigh and stare at the ceiling. This is hard. He could have told me that I might get a glimpse of his memory when I'm asleep, because masters and servants are connected. If he had told me, I could have cut my consciousness so that I wouldn't see such a thing. I get up. My body is heavy and my eyelids are heavier than steel. I curse how I'm not a morning person and start changing into my uniform slowly. I don't know if this is expected or not, but he used to be a hot-blooded man. I don't know what hero he is, but it seemed he was more honest before.
死後もこんな目に遭わされちゃ確かに性格歪むわよね。
I laugh it off. My face in the mirror looks so serious and about to cry, but I decide to laugh. Because I have to do so or I won't be able to face Archer normally. I get ready and drink the freshly brewed tea in the living room. I don't usually eat breakfast, so it's pretty quick. I have 15 minutes left until I get going. This cup of tea is like a ritual performed every morning to wake up my body on my half-asleep body.
リン、いつまで遊んでいるつもりだ。
But there's one fool that cannot read his master's mind.
いつまでって7時半までよ。それを過ぎたら遅刻しちゃうじゃない。
誰が登校時間を言っているか。私が言いたいのは聖杯戦争のことだ。他のマスターと協力することは悪くない。だが君の場合は選んだパートナーが悪すぎる。
はあ。
That again? Archer tells me to cut ties with Emiyashiro every chance he gets.
だからその気はないって言ったでしょ。アーチャーはそう言うけど、私は適任だと思う。そのエミヤくんなら何があっても裏切らないと思うしさ。
本来信頼は駆け引きで築くものだ。理由のない信頼などそれこそ信用ならん。いいか、あれは勝ち残れる人間ではない。
ふざけないでアーチャー。あんた私にあんな外道と志を同じにしろっていうの
？I put my teacup down and stare at Archer. Even if it may be sarcasm, I cannot ignore what he just said. Air freezes. I'm seriously pissed, an Archer who has no intention of backing down.
Definitely, キャスターは外道だが、あれはあれで実に魔術師らしい。その点で言えば、リンは戦いには向いていない。魔術師ならば、志より結果を取るべきだ。
皮肉を言っても無駄よ。私は方針を変えないわ。
まったく、どうしたのだ一体。エミやシローと知り合ってからの君はおかしいぞ。以前の合理性はどこに行った？
I realize that without you having to tell me. But I can't help it. He doesn't have anything even though he's a magus, and dangerously small-minded.
リン。
そうね。ええ、私はどうかしてる。けどアーチャー、それもこれもみんなあんたがつまんないもの見せるからじゃない。
何？
いいわ、忘れて。とにかくあんたが私のサーバントである以上、私は私が信じることしかやらない。私はエミやシローほど甘くはないけど、それでも譲れないものがある。相手が何者であろうと、それを譲る気なんかない。
I say so with anger, and that makes me realize I don't feel any sympathy even after learning about his past. I'm just mad at him. He's such a douche.
はーちゃん返事は？
I take out the archer. Oh, I take it out on Archer and glare at him. The knight in red makes his usual gesture.
仕方あるまい。主が不調ならば支えるのが進化の役割だからな。
He answers with a reply that's either a yes or a no, or that's neither, rather. I wake up. I feel heavy, like there's lead inside my head.
なんだろう。ここんとこ目覚めが悪いな。
Is it because I have lots to think about, or because I'm seeing strange dreams? Is it because... oh, whoops. Even though I don't usually see dreams, I think I've been seeing something like a dream recently.
まあ、綺麗な刀だったけどさ。
Fucking love these swords, man! I need to become a collector! I see images of swords in my dreams. In them, his short swords come up pretty often.
そうだよ。気に入ってるよ。悪いか。
If Gilgamesh is like Blockbuster Video, then Shiro is like Netflix. He just streams his swords, whereas Gilga actually amasses them physically. I curse the person that's not here and get up from my futon. It's before 6 in the morning. I can't be affected by strange dreams. I have to go make breakfast. Saber sees me off as I leave the house. I'm getting used to this lifestyle as the morning passes by smoothly. I don't see Tosaka at the gate. Since the only suspect we had, Issei, turned out to be innocent, I bet she's busy running around gathering information.
人事じゃない。俺も調査しないと。
But how will I do that? I guess Tosaka is investigating the people at school, so I guess I'll investigate the building. Shiro's like, those swords? Let me smash. Well, it's not convenient enough to let me notice anything I haven't noticed before. United States of Smash! I searched the school using all the breaks I had in the first half of lunch break. But I wasn't able to find anything strange.
何か知らんがお疲れ。
He must be done eating already, as he greets me while reading an old poetry book.
サンキュー。飯食うからお茶もらうさ。あれ、
ああ、こっちだ。しかしな、今日は昆布茶しかないがいいか。
え、ああ、なら左右でいいや。
そうかそうか。では明日までに職員室から緑茶でももらってこよう。
I'll leave the laughing Issei to himself, pour some water into my cup, and sit down at the table.
じゃ、いただきます。
I clap my hands together and open my lunchbox. I had a really weird fate dream as well, which was very strange.
あれ、一星、お客さん。
ん？こんな時間にか。
Issei slowly goes to the door. The visitor's Kuzuki sensei, the one in charge of the student council. I see Kuzuki sensei a lot here, but I bet it's Emiya is the new student council But I bet it's Emiya is in the student council room a lot, from his point of view. I silently eat my chicken sprinkled lunch. Chicken sprinkles! Ah, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, the sword and the stone. They kind of took out the whole dick wizard thing there. Well, that's assuming fate added the whole dick wizard thing. And Sword in the Stone totally predates Dick Wizard. There must not be anything important today, as Issei and Kuzuki sensei are just chatting. Munch, munch, munch.
先生、そろそろ時間ですか？
そうか、邪魔をしたな。言わずとも承知しているだろうが、戸締まりは忘れないように。下校時間も厳守したまえ。
はいはい、分かってます。
Kuzuki sensei leaves, and Issei comes back in a good mood. Wow, I just saw something rare. It's really rare to see Kuzuki sensei chatting about meaningless things with a student. And with that, shy Issei. Oh, they might get along since they're both stubborn, but it's still strange.
なあ伊勢。
なんだエミヤ。
いや前から疑問に思っていたんだが、お前とクズキ仲いいのか？
Oh, he's
いや
surprised.
答えられないならいい。ふとそう思っただけだから気にするな。
ああ、違う違う。そういえばエミヤには言ってなかったな。と気がついてね。
He's like a brother to me.
は？
Kuzuki sensei is like Issei's brother?
ちょっと待て、それどういうことだ？
What does that mean?
だから兄貴分だって。総一郎。久月先生は3年ほど前からうちに居候しているんだ。見ての通り朴訥な人柄だが、裏表のない誠実な心をしている。同じ屋根の下で暮らしていて、人間として尊敬できるのだ。
クズキが竜道寺に住んでいる？
It feels like I got hit in the nuts with a hammer. But I act calm and ask Issei to continue.
そういえば最近見慣れない女がいるって言ったよな。
知ってるも何も。あの女は久月先生の言い名付けだ。近々祝言をあげるから、それまで部
I
屋を貸し与
wonder
えて。
how much sex they have in that room surrounded by the celibate monks. It must be awkward. A second shot. This time to the left nut.
一世、そういうの見慣れない女って言わないんじゃないのか。
I try my hardest to object with a dizzy head.
見慣れない女は見慣れない女だ。久月先生の言い名付けであろうと、名前も知らない女など、それで十分だろう。
Issei stops the conversation as if he's angry. Anyways, this is something I can't ignore. Kuzuki Soichiro is coming from the Ryudo Temple, and there's a woman that is said to be at the Ryudo Temple. I hear Kuzuki-sensei's fiancé showed up about a month ago. If that's Castor, all our answers are right there. Gotta go tell Reen!
と、そういうわけなんだが。
In the classroom after school, we don't even have 10 minutes until we have to go home, but I tell Tosaka about Kuzuki-sensei.
どうだろう。一世のこともあるし、竜道寺に住んでるからって怪しいと決めつけるのはどうかと思うんだが。
Does anyone know the visual novel Euphoria?
久月先生か。マスターとしての気配っていうより、そもそも魔術師じゃないんだけどな、あの人は。
I don't know if she's listening to me, as Tosaka is frowning to
魔
herself.
術師じゃない？なんだ、よかった。それじゃあとりあえずクズキは除外か。
なんで？そんな怪しいやつ、マスターに決まってるじゃない。
Well, I'm starting to get used to this, but I still can't keep up with Tosaka's thought processes.
今夜にでも仕掛けるわよ。学校に手を回して夜勤になるように仕向けるから。エミヤ君も準備しといて。
Yeah, Euphoria. He'll never forget Euphoria. I'm nearing the ending, like the true ending, so don't spoil that part. God, it's such a weird thing. I don't know why I went into it. It was sort of another sadistic visual novel I went in because I just felt like torturing myself.
ちょっと待て。いくらなんでもそれはなし。
It's like an anime version of Battle Royale, Danganronpa, Saw, and like Human Centipede.
クズキを夜勤にするって、それじゃ今夜にでも戦うっていうのかよ。
No, I have not heard of that one. Samurai Hormone? Get him on night shift. Are you saying we'll fight him tonight? Oh, oops, you already said that.
当然でしょ。クズキが明日も学校に来る保証はないもの。機会は待ったなし。夜まで学校に残らせて帰り道であいつがマスターかどうか試すのよ。
念のため聞くが、マスターかどうか試すってどうやって？
実力行使。エミヤ君の時と一緒。
Yes, I said Human Centipede. It's got lots of scat-like moments. And I don't even like that shit. It's gross, but... it was still captivating in its own weird, messed up way. The phrase, just like I did to you, sounds a bit sweet. So as I thought, Tosaka is a bully inside. Maybe I fought over her the playground's peace when we were small.
俺は反対だ。試すにしてももっと穏やかな方法がある。わざわざ危険な真似をしなくてもいい。
It's definitely not for everyone. In fact, it's probably not for most people.
私だって見境なしじゃないわ。
The one thing I can say about it, though, is I have no clue what's going to happen next, always. It's such a bizarre thing that it's really entertaining. You can't predict it at all. Song of Saya is amazing. Song of Saya is definitely better than Euphoria, but I think if you can take Song of Saya, you can probably handle Euphoria if you liked it anyway. I'd recommend it if you did like it.
もしクズキが本当にマスターだったらそのまま戦闘になる。
Although for completely different
以
reasons.
上話し合いにはならない。
わからないわね。それなら余計好都合じゃないの。一体何が危ないっていうのよ、エミヤ君は。
そっちこそわからないやつだな。だから遠坂が危ないって話だろ。
The only thing that annoys me about Euphoria is that they don't distinguish between what's extremely gross and obscene and what's supposed to be like a legit like hentai scene or something. So yeah, that's a weird one. Tosaka must have finally realized as she stops the conversation. But that's only for an instant.
そう。別にいいわよ。
Like I can't tell if the creators are like expecting me to find it or be turned on by some of this stuff. I'm like, it's gross. No. She easily concludes. Or they think it's okay to just put like an H scene in between two really gross scenes or something and expect me to like be in the mood. I'm like, nope. Doesn't work that way. Nope. So I just wind up skipping through some of the H stuff a little bit because it's very drawn out.
どんな無茶をするかわからないからな。
それはこっちのセリフよ。まったく何を言い出すかと思えば。下校時間ね。それじゃあ待ち合わせは午後7時。橋の下の公園。戦闘になるだろうからちゃんと準備してくるのよ。
She looks away and walks off. I leave the classroom after her.
では今夜キャスターのマスターに仕掛けると？
いや、まだクズキがマスターだって決まったわけじゃないんだが、おおむねそうだ。
A report to Saber about today as soon as I get home. Saber must agree with Tosaka as she's hyped up already.
そういうわけだから今日の鍛錬はなしだ。夕食もすぐに支度するから待ち合わせに備えよう。ってそっか。そういえば出陣の前に飯食うのって良くないのか？
Yeah, no, you don't play Euphoria as a good H game. You play it as an interesting horror story.
なぜそのようなことを聞くのです？戦闘時に空腹では問題があると思うのですが。
いや、腹がもたれるのかなって。あと1時間もないし、夕飯は帰ってきてからのがいいんじゃないかなって。
いえ、そのようなことはないと思いますよ。口 口にしたものを素早く消化するのも戦士の素質です。普段から正しい生活と鍛錬をしていれば食事はあまり問題ないかと。
それはつまり夕飯は作って OK ってこと？
はい、そちらの方が大変力が出るのでは。
I see. I have trained to be able to move right after meals, so I guess there's no problem. But I'll make a light dinner just in case.
それじゃあ今に言ってるけど、セイバーは
？Then why does it have H scenes? I don't know. Different people, different tastes, I guess.
いきません。私はもうしばらく気を整えておきます。
In my opinion, I think the H scenes just add to the depravity of it all. I guess she'll be sitting here in Japanese style meditation.
了解。飯ができたら呼びに来る。
I leave the dojo. It's dark outside. There's also like a bit of Total Recall mixed in the full formula too. It's a really weird visual novel. One that I want to play is Muv-Luv Alternative, but part of it looks really boring just watching somebody else play it on YouTube, so I'm not sure. We're meeting at 7. That must mean we'll be attacking Kuzuki sensei about an hour after we meet. Euphoria did get an animation, actually, but it doesn't cover the entire story. We'll have to fight if Kuzuki turns out to be a master. Castor is a wary servant. She would never give us another chance at a surprise attack if she found out her master had been attacked. Then all we'll have to make sure to beat him if we're going to attack. I can't let my enemy escape, nor can I run away. No matter who it may be, Castor's master has to be defeated to stop Castor, the one attacking all the people in this town. If all goes well, we'll take away his command spell and he won't be a master anymore.
そうか。武器の一つも持っていかないとな。
A weapon at my place, something I can easily put magical energy into, would be a wooden sword. My success rate of the strengthening magic has been pretty good recently, so even a wooden sword would become a good weapon. That's only in the case of normal battles. I'll need a better weapon if I'm to fight against a master or a servant.
欲を言えば、あいつの剣みたいに。
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the animation was particularly well done. To be I imagine what I saw in my dream. Twin swords, of black and white. If they're about that long, I should be able to use them. And most of all, I could fight decently if I had those swords. I'd be able to protect myself, not be a burden on Saber, and be proud that I'm Saber's master.
たく、ないものねだりをしてもしょうがないだろう、バカ。
My shoulders slump as I head to the porch. I'll just do what I can. For now, I'll concentrate on making dinner. Saber always seems so serious, but it seems Saber is looking forward to the meals. It's been my recent secret joy to make her happy. It's 7 o'clock. Tosaka comes right on time.
お待たせ。必要なものを揃えてたら時間かかっちゃった。で、そっちの準備はどう？
I show her the wooden sword bag. There's one wooden sword in there. This is about all the preparation I can do.
まあ、しょうがないか。そもそも白兵戦ならこっちはセイバーがいるんだし。エミヤ君は様子を見ているだけでいいかもね。
そうだな。セイバーがいる以上、俺はセイバーのフォローをするだけだ。
Oh, does Artoria's voice actress play in Queensblade?
リン、なぜアーチャーはいないのですか？
Saber asks with a serious expression.
父坂アーチャーを連れてきてないのか？
ええ、あいつなら置いてきた。今夜は奇襲だし、セイバーがいるなら必要ないでしょ。
Tosaka starts walking. I don't know what she's thinking, but I guess we won't be getting Archer's help. Time passes. One has to pass this intersection if one is to go from the school to the Ryudo Temple. It's already been an hour since we got here. A boundary field has been created here.
外から見られるのはアウトだけど、防音だけは完璧よ。ここ一帯ミサイルが落ちても周りには気づかれないわ。
According to Tosaka, it's so quiet around us. I guess it's because Tosaka's boundary field is working, but the town is too lifeless. It's already been 7 days since the Holy Grail War started. It seems the town is having its spirit slowly drained without anyone noticing.
来た。エミヤくん、隠れて。
I'll play Kingdom Hearts 3. Soul Calibur series has pissed me off in recent years. I'm waiting for them to make the graphics style look a little prettier, I guess. And Dragon's Quest 11 looks interesting, but I'm not a fan of Akira Toriyama art. I move to the wall. I can't even hear footsteps. I see a shadow under the streetlight. A tall and lean figure. The familiar figure is definitely that of Kuichiro. I don't know why I butchered the shit out of that. Kuzuki Soichiro. Kuzuki sensei passed us with his ordered steps. He's too defenseless. Just like Tosaka, I'm suddenly attacked by the feeling that Kuzuki sensei might be innocent.
なあ、父坂。やっぱりクズキは違うんじゃないのか？
まあ、やってみればはっきりするでしょう。
It seems Tosaka is in doubt as well. I guess she's still going for the plan, as she points her index finger at Kuzuki sensei. Gundo. It is a curse to reduce target's physical ability, considered to be the simplest magic. Tosaka's Gundo shot is more like a gunshot, but I'm sure she'll go easy this time.
準備はいい？エミヤくん。
She murmurs. I'll still make it. There's a possibility that Kuzuki Soichiro, Jesus Christ, is innocent. Is there another way to check if he's a master or not? I'm gonna go with my instincts here and just get through this because I don't think any of these deaths are particularly interesting. I bite my lips to bear the uneasiness. I'll have to bear it. If Kuzuki sensei turns out to be innocent, I'll just have to remove the curse on him with all my power.
仕掛けるわよ。
She takes a small breath, and right after that, a black bullet is released. She must have made a sound on purpose. It is slow, and the black haze goes for Kuzuki like a pitcher's changeup. A wind of disease that will cause him to be sick in bed for 2 days. But 2 days of inaction is fatal for a master. There has to be some kind of reaction if Kuzuki sensei is a master.
やば！
Tosaka jumps. Kuzuki does not react at all. Tosaka's Gundo shot mercilessly hits Koichiro's... Jesus Christ. Kuzuki Soichiro's head. But right before that, it is nullified by a robe that suddenly appears in the sky.
Oh.
Oh. You got caught. The man at the right was supposed... The man that was supposed to get hit by the Gundo shot looks over at us, as if he's saying he knew we were here all along.
父坂！
I quickly take the wooden sword out of my bag and put magical energy into it. There's no time to be screwing up the strengthening magic. The robe that appeared in front of Kuzuki now takes form. female limbs appear from the bluish-purple robe. Teleportation. A complete teleportation is considered to be a sorcery even in the modern world. Castor has easily performed such a thing to appear in front of us.
忠告したはずですよ、総一郎。このようなことになるから、あなたは竜道寺にとどまるべきだと。
She must think nothing of us as she calmly talks to her master, Kuzuki.
そうでもない。実際に獲物は釣れた。
そうね。あまり大きな魚ではなさそうだけど、大量であることは間違いないわ。
Running away would be hard now. No, if Castor and her master are here, all we have to do is fight them, even if this is the middle of the town. But
出
before
て
that,
こないの？残念ね。顔ぐらいは見ておきたかったのですけど。
何よあのタヌキ。こっちの素性なんてもう分かってるくせに。
Tosaka grumbles from her hiding spot. Castor must hear
3
it.
秒あげるわ、お嬢さん。それであなたがしたことをそのまま返してあげましょう。
I don't care for Raiko much at all. Her design is too ridiculous. Since she says so and points her hand in our direction. I recall what happened at the Ryudo Temple. She won't hold back. Knowing her, I bet she would destroy this whole area along with the wall we're hiding behind.
エミヤ君、合図をしたら飛んで。セイバー、準備はいい？
I sense her nodding behind me, but there's something I need to confirm before that.
すまん。それは後にしてくれ、トサカ。
え？
I don't wait for her reply. I go out into the intersection with my wooden sword.
シロ！
Tosaka must not want to let me go alone as she comes out as well.
あら、意外ね。少しは物分かりが良くなったのかしら、坊や。
Castor watches us with a composure. Kuzuki is standing next to her. We're about 10 meters apart. No matter how I think about it, Castor's finger would be much faster than me running into them. But I showed myself in spite of that. I have to do something before I fight. That is...
遠坂とエミヤか。マトだけではなく、お前たちまでマスターとはな。マジ
to check the true identity of Kuzuki Soichiro, the one Castor is protecting.
どうしたエミヤ？話があるのではないのか？
He says so in his unusual manner. I don't feel a presence as a Magus from Kuzuki sensei. No, I don't even feel his desire to win the Holy Grail War. Then...
クズキ、あんた、キャスターに操られてるのか？
It's possible that Kuzuki sensei is controlled by Castor, like Archer said. I can't fight against Kuzuki sensei until I get this cleared up. Castor emits an intent to kill. That alone tells me the question is off limits for her.
うるさい坊や。殺してしまおうかしら。
Her words are not a threat,
待
but
て。その質問の出所は何だ、エミヤ。
Kuzuki sensei stops her in his usual manner.
疑問には理由があるはずだ。言ってみるがいい。
My throat is dry. It must be Castor's intent to kill. The robed figure tells me I'll be killed if I say something bad. I bear
あ
it
んた
in.
がどうやってマスターになったかは知らない。けど、あんたはまともな人間だろ。なら、キャスターがやっていることを見逃しているはずがない。だっていうのに見逃してるってことは、あんたは知らないんじゃないかって思っただけだ。
I say so while glaring at
キャ
Castor.
スターがやっていることだと？
ああ、そいつは竜道寺に巣を張って町中の人間から魔力を集めてる。ここ最近連続している混成事件は全部そいつの仕業だ。今までもそしてこれからも犠牲者は増え続ける。キャスターが魔力を吸い上げ続ける限り、いずれ死んじまう人間だって出てくるだろう。そいつは町の人間は生贄だって言った。取り返しのつかないことになるのはそう先のことじゃない。
なるほど、そういうことか。通常善良な人間ならばキャスターを放置できない。
So, the original Utawada Umano just got an HD remake in Japan that came out for the PS4, and since we've recently gotten localization for both of the Utawada Umano Itsuwari no Kamen titles, you know, Futatsu no Hakuoto being the second, I really, really, really hope they bring the classic Utawada Umano over here so that I can play that, because I've always been more of a fan of the traditional cast. And that's a visual novel I could actually really get into. Plus it has tactics combat elements, which is exciting. I don't really have much of an opinion on Empire of Dirt because I don't know a whole lot about it. I think it's cool that someone's willing to put all that work into making their own fan game.
にもかかわらずマスターである私がキャスターを放置しているのは彼女に操られているからだと考えたわけだな。
ああ、もしあんたがキャスターの行為を知っていて放っておいているなら、あんたはただの殺人鬼だ。俺も容赦はしない。けど、あんたが操られているんなら別だ。
But my problem then would be the fact that the original Utawada Umano has hentai scenes in it. Not really elaborate ones, mind you, but I would like to experience those, of course. I think it's stupid they take those out on PlayStation 4 versions.
いや、
Or PlayStation releases anyway. He declares so firmly. I don't think it's a lie. Kuzuki Soichiro is straightforward like when he is teaching. I sigh with relief, while keeping watch on Castor. Kuzuki-sensei is a victim if he's controlled by Castor. Then all that's left is to defeat Castor.
だがエミヤ、キャスターの行いはそう悪いものなのか?
But still, Kuzuki Soichiro plainly says so.
だって。
他人が何人死のうが私には関わりのないことだ。加えてキャスターは命までは取っていない。まったく随分と半端なことをしているのだな、キャスター。そこまでするのなら一息で根こそぎ奪った方が良いだろうに。
He's not any different from usual. Kuzuki Soichiro gives his honest opinion.
無関係の人間を巻き込むつもりか。
Is the PC version translated, perhaps?
すべての人間は無関係だが、まあ私が何者であるかはそちらで言い当てただろう。私は魔術師などではない。ただのそこいらにいる朽ち果てた殺人鬼だよ。
Kuzuki takes a step back. He watches us from behind Castor.
キャスターの傀儡というのは当たっているがな。私は聖杯戦争など知らん。キャスターが殺し、お前たちが殺し合うというのなら傍観するだけだ。もっとも、私も自分の命が一番可愛い。キャスターが何を企もうと知らぬ。では好きにしろキャスター。生かすも殺すもお前の自由だ。
Castor is standing in front of us with an expression of victory.
ああ、もうとんだ狸同士じゃないあいつら。
Tosaka complains, but she doesn't move. No, she cannot move. In terms of skill as a magi, we still have no chance of beating Castor. Masters are magi, so we cannot match an excellent magus like Castor.
そうか。ではここで死しても構わんのだな。キャスターのマスターよ。
I don't know what you're saying. Do you not like Shiro? Or do you? I hear a voice behind me before I can turn around. The servant of the sword, Saber, charges forward.
Saber!
Even my voice won't catch up to her. Saber is already armed and charges at Kuzuki like the wind.
お待ちなさい、セイバー。
Castor confronts Saber with her casting. Pew, 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 pew. She uses 5 verses for her spell. If Saber is a wind for charging 10 meters in a flash, Castor is a lightning for finishing her spell even faster. It's a raging thunder at that. She shoots off 5 bullets of light in a second, and the bullets pierce Saber like fatal thorns. Magic resistance!
いえ、私の魔術を防ぎきる騎士など知らない。
Caster screams. Even Archer had to evade Caster's spell, but Saber is nullifying it just by glaring at it. Saber's not looking at Caster. Her target, the one she has to slash, is Caster's master, Kuzuki Soichiro. Saber slashes Kuzuki without hesitation.
宗一郎様。
The intersection becomes silent again. Saber stops after slashing her sword. Everyone here thinks that the battle is over due to the incredible speed. Yes, everyone except Kuzuki Soichiro, who is standing there calmly.
Interlude.
Charge, stop, slash. Having repelled all of Caster's spells, Saber settled the match without giving anybody a chance to stop her. The charging speed, her footwork, and her attack were perfect. Her invisible sword slashed the enemy master. A surprise attack at the perfect moment. Saber's powerful slash splits Kuzuki Soichiro in two. No, it should have split him in two. Say what? Bewilderment causes her to gasp. I would love to play a Fate board game. What is going on? Saber, still in the posture of having swung her sword, stares at the enemy in front of her with blank amazement.
バカな。
Even Saber does not understand what's going on. A perfect strike that was slashed horizontally. The attack is stopped. The sword is stopped before slashing the enemy's body, being caught between something.
足と腕。
Can such a miracle occur? Her sword has been stopped by her enemy, Kuzuki Soichiro. Knee and elbow. Her sword has been stopped, caught between his elbow and knee. Saber does not know, of course, that there is a technique used to stop an enemy's blade with bare hands, and that there are experts today who actually use it. A dating sim visual novel? Would that be Pokemon trainers dating each other? Or would that be some kind of furry nonsense with the trainers dating the Pokemon or the Pokemon dating each other? But still, she would not have stood there in astonishment if this were a normal fight. But this is a battle of a servant, and the enemy is a mere human. For him to stop an invisible sword with his bare body, he must be insane!
侮ったな、セイバー。
You done fucked up, Saber. His voice is deep as if coming down from the ground. Saber's body moves. She tries to pull back her sword with all her might. At that instant, an unknown impact strikes her head from the back. She does not understand at all. It is her first time fighting a man that can stop a sword bared-handed. And could this be an attack with his bare hands? She was punched? The back of her head was hit from such a close range? She evades it, still not knowing what it is. Something goes past her temple. Saber understands it as a fist strengthened by some magic, and she jumps. As she has a long weapon, she is at a disadvantage at close range against an unarmed opponent. Saber retreats. Yes, and I also have a lore video that talks about Kuzuki, so if you want to understand that, it's in there. Saber retreats to short range, the range where she can make use of her sword. Of course, he keeps facing the enemy while she does so. She is moving to get out of range, of the range advantageous to her enemy. It is an established rule to pursue a retreating enemy, but the enemy does not pursue her. Caster's master, the man who will be defeated if he stays there, does not move, and he pierces through her solar plexus. Motherfucker. She breathes out. She only feels the impact. The attack is stopped by her armor, and only the impact comes to her. The impacts continue. The things aimed accurately at her vital points are human fists. In a fist fight? Shit, I don't know. Kirei and Kuzuki are both OP. Did she even have time to gasp? By the time she realizes that his mountain-like fingers are the cause of the impact, the match has already been decided. The fists shower down on her. The man's fists are fired in rapid succession with heaviness and intensity, as if they're made of iron. How should it be expressed? His arms are flexible like a whip, but they move in right angles. If his arms are shot out like a flash, his forearms that move from there are like the technique of a fierce god. The almost invisible attacks are all attacking her in her weak spots. He allows no counterattack. Even her arms are targeted, and the pain reaches her core even through her armor. The attacks all come from outside to the inside. The swinging arms change direction using the elbow as the fulcrum, and they beat Saber from impossible directions. They are sharp and dull. It's not an instant kill, but they contain poison that would lead to death. That is all that is contained in these attacks. Even though the fists cannot be avoided, they aren't that heavy. But the pain numbs her mind every time she receives a blow. Taking that small opening, the fist goes for the back of her head like death's scythe. She avoids it instinctively. Isn't Shiki a berserker in Fate Extra? She avoids it instinctively. Attacks going for her arms and body are fine, but the back of her head would prove fatal for her. Oh, you're right, she isn't a servant. She's an anomaly in that universe. Therefore, Saber concentrates on that one attack. A monster that can stop a sword with his bare hands. Facing these strange attacks that she's experiencing for the first time, the only thing she trusts are her own instincts. The enemy's arms stop moving. His stance is like his arms, steady like a rock. The man moves. What is different about the attack? Saber, who was avoiding all the fatal blows, could not dodge his attack. Her mind fades. The impact landing on the back of her head shakes her brain. But she still manages to raise her hands. The man's attacks cannot penetrate through her armor. Then, the man will go for her bare head. Her bared head. Saber raises her arms to protect her face. The impact comes through the arms. It's like a snake crawling through a thick forest. It's like a snake. Oh, whoops. The enemy's fists easily make their way through. Her mind fades away. The body of the snake, his left elbow, smashes into her collarbone. Saber avoids it by retreating a bit and grips her sword. The course of the fist after that. She readies herself for the blow that will go to the back of her head from the left side. She cannot make light of him anymore. If the enemy is to take her consciousness, she will let him. But she will cut down his arms as compensation. She opens her eyes wide and she is astonished at the change. With the elbow as the fulcrum, the blow comes straight down from above. The circular orbit of his attack changed to a straight line. She instantly moves her neck to avoid the blow going for her head. impact lands on her shoulder. She glares at her enemy with her left shoulder destroyed, and her spine freezes up the instant she does so. Yeah, but when you think about it, when you really think about it, Kuzuki Soichiro has spent literally his entire childhood up to a certain stage in his young adulthood literally doing nothing but practicing techniques to kill people. All so that he could kill one person. So he still got all that technique that he had trained, and it's very similar to how Artoria trained in her swords. In terms of training, they probably have had equivalent amounts. But with an entire caster buffing you, that's pretty intense. His right hand that has not been used yet. The fist that has been set at the height of her throat is released like a cannon. Unlike the previous attacks that followed a line, this attack is executed as a point. A thrusting fist aimed at the person in front of him. With his force and precise accuracy, he should be able to pierce through her. With his charged attack, it should be easy to pierce Saber's throat, break her bone, and smash her to pieces. But it misses. A surprise attack is useless on her, and she has instincts bordering on precognition. The snake-like fist grazes past her neck. Seeing that, she tries to step in to attack, but at that moment... Bam! An unbelievable sound comes from right beside her neck. The snake's fangs pierce her. The instant it is dodged, the attack that presses her uses its fingers to dig into her neck with a sound. Don't get me wrong, this scene pisses me off too, but... it would be boring if she just killed everyone. It's gotta be a struggle, that's what a good fight is. The shock passes through her as a shudder. Yes, a hand is originally something used to grab, not punch. It must be supported by caster's magic as the enemy's fingers easily squeeze off her neck. Saber's sword is raised. Her sword moves to cut off the enemy's arm before her neck is crushed. But she is unable to finish her attack. Before the sword is swung, her body itself is swung like a sword. How so? What? She feels her body fly through the air. An overswing like a pitcher. The man holds onto Saber's neck, and he throws her with one arm. A fastball with a human is the ball. There's no way she can land safely from it. Her neck is scraped off and she is smashed into a concrete wall at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. See, I don't get this because a lot of people complain when we've got an OP character like Kirito or Natsu from Fairy Tail that they defeat all their enemies, they always pull some shit right out of their ass at the last second to win or something. I don't think this scene is bullshit in the sense that it's a bad scene. It's bullshit to me because I don't like watching Artoria get beaten up. That's the purely subjective biased reason. It's a very well executed scene as far as I'm concerned, because it makes you feel, and it's very surprising. Her body is forced to stop its action. Interlude out. Everyone watches it in astonishment, not just me and Tosaka, even Caster, who should be overwhelmed with victory, watches our master in astonishment. Saber's quick charge to Kuzuki's counterattacks. From the nightmare-like neck grab to the perfect throw fascinated even us. Saber doesn't move. She was thrown by her neck and smashed back first into the wall. The wound on her neck should be fatal. Even worse, she hit the wall with such speed. I don't think it killed her, but I'm sure she won't be able to move. At the very least, Saber will stay on the ground until the wound on her neck and body heal.
そんなば
I murmur without realizing. Even though his fists are strengthened using caster's magic, Kuzuki is only human. Who could possibly think that he would be able to overwhelm a servant in hand-to-hand combat?
マスターの役割は後方支援などと決めつけるのはいいがな。
In my opinion, saying that someone has intuition rank B, which prevents them from ever being, outsmarted by an enemy's swings and attacks, seems more plot armor than anything I've ever read in my life. The lean figure turns.
例外は常に存在する。私のように前に出るしか能のないマスターもいるということだ。
I'm just saying this is a well-balanced situation because it's dramatic as fuck. We're about to go attack an enemy that we think is relatively easy, only to find out just how wrong we are. That type of a change is psychological, it's much more exciting, and I would argue that that kind of a thing is way more important than trying to follow the rules of whose rank beats what rank and skill and things like that. That doesn't matter when you're making a good story, because you can make anyone as powerful as you want them to be at any time. He just proved that to us, so their roles as the fight, as the one to their roles as the one to fight and the one to support are reversed.
何をしているキャスター、事前に言っておいただろう。後方支援をするのなら敵の飛び道具は始末しておけと。
The enemy, Kuzuki, stares at Tosaka. A threat to him would not be Saber, but Tosaka, who is able to attack from a distance. That's why he won't attack us. He fully knows that letting a Magus fight a Magus would be the most sure way to kill.
どうしたキャスター、好きにしていい。
いえ、セイバーには私が手を下します。宗一郎、あなたは残ったマスターを。
Kuzuki silently nods and walks toward us. Caster faces Saber behind him.
ちょっとセイバーは面食らってやられたけど、あいつのネタは分かってる。要は近づかれる前に倒せばいいんでしょ。
Tosaka slowly retreats while glaring at Kuzuki. Like, for instance, Gilgamesh is OP as fuck. He will defeat any servant any day, pretty much. The fact that he's defeated by his own hubris is what makes it so fascinating, that he is unwilling to understand that someone might have an ability that'll deflect his attack, or that he won't use his full effort on someone that he thinks is simply a mongrel, makes it a much more interesting way for a character like him to be defeated. Because he's more than just a fighter, he is a pompous, arrogant dude. And character flaws are important with making dramatic situations like that. So even Saber, no matter how strong she could be, can be put in a situation where all of her knowledge is completely subverted in a moment. Even though Kuzuki has monstrous fighting techniques, he has no magic resistance. Therefore, we can win if we cast something. We win if we manage to cast a spell before he reaches us. Kuzuki faces Tosaka and does not move. Caster is walking towards the wall where Saber is smashed. That action is a mistake. That's an opening I can take advantage of, so now... Protect Tosaka! This is her route after all. Saber isn't dead yet. Even though Kuzuki was an unexpected monster, Saber hasn't lost yet. And besides, Caster shouldn't be able to finish Saber off. I put strength into my grip. I glare at Kuzuki as to not miss even his blinking. The instant he faces Tosaka, I slide myself in between them. Knowing Tosaka, I'll bet she'd jump instantly to the side to shoot Kuzuki. There's no time to do so. It happens in an instant. The instant I think Kuzuki's body wavered, he is in front of Tosaka. She's astonished, but Tosaka instantly points her hand at Kuzuki. But the right hand that almost pierced Saber's neck strikes Tosaka right in her chest. Time stops for Tosaka. She's right in the center of her body and she has her breath stopped. That's it. As she cannot breathe, she cannot cast her spell, and has most of her ability as a Magus cut off. She managed to instantly jump back, so the attack only stopped her breath. But the next attack, even though she jumped back, is only about a meter or so. Is Ultra Instinct the most powerful ability? I don't think so. I'd still feel like a weapon that shatters the fabric of reality, like Aya, is still probably more OP in that regard. Such a distance, it's not even considered a retreat against Kuzuki. I move in between them. Using my wooden sword as a shield, I face Kuzuki, who's about to attack Tosaka. He thrusts his fists. I can't see it. How did Saber avoid such a... I desperately protect my left side. I hear a heavy sound, and the sound of my wooden sword breaking. I see Kuzuki getting ready for his next attack. I'll die. I feel it instinctively. My strengthened wooden sword was like a metal. If he can destroy it in one blow, he can destroy any part of my body. I can't stop him. Tosaka is coughing painfully behind me. I can't see his attacks, and my only weapon was destroyed. His fist accurately goes for my temple. Miyashiro will die from that hammer-like attack. Having my head smashed off, I would probably splatter a rain of blood and brains. Yay! Probably. Can't exactly say for sure, though, but if I use my imagination, yeah, brains everywhere, yeah, that kind of thing. I'll die if I don't stop it. A weapon. I can't match him. I'll need a strong weapon to make up for the vast difference in our powers. It closes in on my brain. I imagine myself dying. No, if that happens. I'll die if I can't stop it. A weapon. I need a weapon. A weapon that he can't destroy. Not a quick, furnished weapon like a wooden sword, but a proven, strong weapon. The finest quality that a weapon deserved. The finest quality at that. A weapon undeserved by me. Yes, the weapons he carries would surely.
Torres. Oh.
Then I'll make them. I'll make them even if it's impossible. I'll make them no matter what the consequences may be. You want me to watch one of my competitors? I make myself believe that strengthening and reproduction things that already exist and things that do not already exist are similar. That's right, there's no time to think. Fake them no matter what. It does not matter if something gets destroyed in the process. I don't care if it's just a fake. Hurry! Forget everything. I don't know what... Don't I know that I'm not the only one who will be killed? If I can't stop it, Tosaka will. That spectacle. Tosaka speaks out for me. A deep voice. Is that Kuzuki's voice? Something might have happened to my ears, as I can't hear properly. Not only my ears, but my senses of my limbs are too weak. Only my right eye is functioning. I watch the approaching fist. I observe as someone else's action blocks the attack. My arms are about to rip off, even though I have no feeling. I hear my nerves tearing off. I know, I'm only kidding. Something tells me Anime America and I would maybe not get along, but I would certainly like to. In my hands are his twin swords. Yang Sword Kansho and Yin Sword Bakuya. The names of these swords, even though they're haphazardly reproduced, the swords still present their existences to the wielder. But I'm sorry, I can't project you guys perfectly with my skills. Fried dumpling. That sounds yummy. We spring apart. The twin swords that parried 30 attacks break as if saying they cannot take any more. It's not because they lost against Kuzuki's fists. The swords disappeared because I couldn't maintain their image. The twin swords must have been unexpected as Kuzuki shows hesitation for the first time. Then, a strong wind is created in the intersection.
Saber!
I look toward the wall. Saber must have healed as she's standing up. Caster is backing away from her. Yes, that's why it was a mistake. Even though she was defeated, Saber still had her powers, so there's no way Saber, who has powerful magic resistance, could be cornered by Caster. It is Kuzuki's role to finish Saber off, but Caster made a mistake. She must have been planning something. That extra thinking caused her to lose out on her perfect chance. Kuzuki retreats. He stands as if to protect Caster and he makes a precise decision.
マスター。いいえ。
二度通じる相手ではない。侮ったのは私の方だったな。あと一芸手を凝らすべきだった。
Yep. Even the villains have to learn that basic lesson. You gotta double tap. Kuzuki is right. Saber was cornered because Kuzuki's techniques were too odd. But that's only up to now. I can't cope with it no matter how many times I receive them, but Saber is already used to the attacks. The main point of a tactic is not to have a concrete shape. Even though they are strong, Kuzuki's attacks are too odd, so they're easily seen through. Therefore, they must be fatal on the first strike. That is the difference between a technique that is trained to an art, and an action that is trained to the utmost limits.
わかりましたわ、宗一郎。ええ。サーバントである以上、マスターの命令には従わないといけませんものね。
Who is that directed at? Caster's robe flutters as she finishes. And I fucking passed out. No, that's just how she escaped. There's nothing after that. The bluish-purple robe circles Kuzuki, as if through sorcery they disappeared without a trace. Have I watched or played Extella? Yes, I have all of Fate Extella on my channel, actually. I streamed the whole damn thing. After Caster and Kuzuki disappear, without caring for her wounded chest, Tosaka grits her teeth in regret. I understand how Tosaka feels. Since we attacked them, Kuzuki will now stay in Ryudo Temple. So we will have to go attack their territory if we're to defeat Caster. But the Ryudo Temple has a gate watcher called Assassin, and Kuzuki and Caster aren't easy enemies either. We'll lose if we just attack recklessly. But we have to go to the Ryudo Temple if we want to defeat Caster.
リン、忠告しますが、あの寺はサーバントにとって鬼門です。アーチャーを動員したところで、力押しでは勝機は薄い。
私だってあの山がどれぐらい変化ぐらい分かってる。悔しいからってすぐに追いかけたりしないし、あなたのマスターを強攻策になんか巻き込まないわ。
Sorry.
では、キャスターを撃つのは諦めると。
冗談。やられっぱなしは性に合わないし、何よりキャスターは放っておけない。
She asked me by looking at me. I will definitely get Fate Extella Link. However, I'm waiting for the US release. I definitely support that kind of thing. Plus, it's Nasuverse, and it's hard as fuck to understand a story in the Nasuverse if it's not in your own language. Saber must have followed Tosaka's example since she looks as if she's asking me whether that's the case.
当たり前だ。いつまでもあの二人を放ってはおけない。キャスターは魔力集めをやめないだろうし、マスターであるクズキも止めないと言った。なら、二人を倒すだけだ。
Hit one more route. That's a pretty big statement. That and Grand Order together. It's gonna take a little while, but yeah, I definitely want to get to Hollow Ataraxia because it's filled with so many feels.
そうね。 クズキ先生がおとなしくレイジを消させてくれるとは思えないけど、とにかく取り押さえればなんとかなる。当面はこっちも作戦を立てるしかないわけだけど。
I'll probably censor it in a similar way that I've been censoring them already. I don't know why, but Tosaka suddenly...
それよりエミヤ君、さっきのは何？あなたの魔術って強化だけじゃなかったの？
She asked me with a serious expression. Does she mean reproducing Archer's swords? Well, I'm still surprised myself, but I don't think she should glare at me for it.
黙ってないで答えなさいよ。前に言ったわよね。俺が使える魔術は強化だけだって。
いや、そうだけど、初めにできたのが投影で、そっちは効率が悪いから強化にしろって教えられたんだ。あれ、こんなの言わなかったか？
Nope.
言ってない。頭にくるぐらい聞いてない。
She glares at me. I don't know why, but Tosaka is really pissed.
じゃあ聞くけど、あなた投影魔術は今回が初めてじゃないのね。
ああ、そうなるかな。強化の鍛錬に失敗した時、仕切り直すためによくやってた。なんていうか、外見は似せられるけど中身は空っぽだったんだ。
Playing Fate Extra on live stream? Maybe? Part of me says that that would be kind of not as exciting. It's not impossible, just not sure.
中身は空っぽ？何？外観だけしか複製しないってこと？
いや、ちゃんと中身も考えてはいるんだけど、うまくいかなかった。だから自分でも驚いてる。イメージしたものは本物には及ばないんだけど、さっきのは真に迫ってたからな。
じゃあエミヤ君、あなたは強化より先に投影を習得したってこと？
習得っていうよりそれしかできなかったんだって。親父はそれじゃ何の役にも立たないから目先を変えて強化にしろって。
そうね、私でもきっとそうさせたわ。でもおかしな話よね。アーチャーの剣をあれだけ長時間複製できるくせに普通のものは投影できない。属性が限られているのかな。汎用性はないけど、ある事柄に関してのみ優れた魔術師ってのもいるし。
Tosaka starts thinking by herself. She does not even look at me.
とりあえず今日は帰りましょう。セイバーも自己回復に魔力を使ったようだし、休ませてあげないと。
She goes home like that. There's no one at the house. The hallway's dead silent. My ears still might be screwed up as I can't hear my own footsteps. The numbness in my limbs won't go away, and I don't feel like I'm stepping on the ground. Damn, my dog is amazing. She was in the other room all the way across the apartment. She comes walking out, she knows that her mommy's home. And I couldn't hear a damn thing. I mean, I have headphones on, but still. Surprised that I can't walk in this condition, I go with Saber to my room.
今日の鍛錬はなしにしよう。セイバーも疲れてるだろ。
Aww.
あんなひどい傷を負ったんだしさ。
I talk to Saber once we get to my room.
いいえ、私の方は問題ありません。回復のために魔力を消費しましたが、まだ十分に補えるレベルです。それよりシロ、あなたの方こそ体に異常はないのですか？
いや、別に大丈夫だぞ。まだ手足が重いけど筋肉痛みたいなものだし、明日になれば楽になってるさ。
わかりました。ですが、もし体が痛むようでしたら声をかけてください。
セイバーこそ何かあったら起こしてくれ。夜分に腹が減ったんなら夜食でも何でも作る。
I can't provide magical energy for her, so all I can do is make some food to cheer her up.
シロ
That always works.
くれぐれも無理はしないように
Shiro, you can do more than you think you can, but still. Daikun's doggo, cuteness rank EX. Of course. She's a sweetie. Saber goes to the next room.
そうだな。おとなしく寝るか。
I set my futon down and lay on it. My limbs are a bit numb. It might be the effect of magic I'm not used to doing, as I feel like I'll pass out if I let my guard down.
なんだ。本当に。
What's my opinion on Nero Claudius and Tamamo no Mae? Umu is wonderful. She's very fun. The best part about her, I think, is her passion. She is extremely passionate and devoted in that regard, and she just shows her love, like, all over herself all the time. You know, she fights in battle while declaring her love for you. That's, like, really exciting and pretty cool. There's something about that personality of hers that's really awesome. Tamamo is fun. She's a bit more classy, a little bit more intimidating. She is not my personal favorite, but...
She's my waifu.
she's fluffy. She's very fluffy.
She's my waifu.
I guess I'm tired. The ringing in my ears annoys me, but I think I can still get a good night's sleep. I squeeze the futon. It feels like hot metal is coming up my throat. Every muscle, every bone in my body is messed up. I hear a grinding sound with my numb ears. The sound of creaking bones is coming from within me. What don't they like? My bones are twitching as if to complain to me. My ribs are shaking as if to burst out of my body.
You're not doing the sound effects.
What do you mean?
The,
That's because Shiro's doing it.
oh,
He's like,
I can't hear you.
he's like, ugh, ah. He's way worse. He makes the funniest screams. You know this.
That's true.
Sasuke's voice. Pain runs through my body. My whole body is pushed up and pushed down by a great force, but the pain is coming from within. It is condensed in a small place, but the contradiction is that my body is expanding. Pain runs through my body.
Oh, no.
My whole body is pushed down by a great force, but the pain is coming from within. You already said that. You already said that exact same thing. Whoops. That was weird.
Deja vu.
On top of my futon, I wiggle around like a bug and try to bear the unknown pain. Mushy, 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 mushy. Mushy. My brain's burning. My brain must not be able to endure the pain, as it is like a sauna now. I don't care if this is compensation for magic over my level, or if this is the abnormality Saber was talking about. But for some reason, I don't want to ask Saber for help. I don't want to worry her, and I have to be responsible for what I did.
当然だ。
I suppress my moaning as I sweat. The clock I look at with my vague mind says it's not yet midnight. I should be able to escape this pain if I sleep, but I'm not sure the pain will wake me up even if I do. I'm going into a daze. My mind is boiling up. The pain should go away once the sun comes up, but until then... I'm going into a daze. My mind's boiling up. The pain should go away once the sun comes up. It just sounds funny. I have to bear this pain for about 7 hours, and this is the fact itself seems like a bad dream. Interlude. Again. Oh. This place is not too pleasant for him. Frustration and delusion, envy and jealousy. This place, permeated with emotions, is like a cursed room. It should have been his, but this room was never used for him.
陰気臭いんだよ、ここ。
Gross. This is all his delusion. A stranger's child spent a few years in here and threatened the Mato blood for a long time. That's the only past he knows. His father never said anything, but his grandfather told him a bit of what happened here. His father did not choose him and decided to kill off the Mato blood, but his grandfather wished the revival of the Mato family. That's why he has no feelings toward his father. His father taught him existence and failure. His grandfather taught him superiority and privilege. Thinking about what his mother gave him, Shinji laughs. First of all, women are not needed at the Mato household. He heard that his mother is some carrier, but she must have become useless after giving birth. He can bet on it that he'll find what used to be his mother in his room. Oh, in this room. Oh god, so they just fed her to the worms. But he has no intention of searching for such a thing. First of all, he does not want to see that which gave birth to his unskillful body. The basement is filled with decay. Strange worms are wiggling around within the deep dark. There should not be any more nutrition to suck out of here, but the worms are still living here in this underground training area. No. From the beginning, this place has been used not to raise people, but to raise bugs. What can be seen inside the dark are swarms of bugs with black wings. Even the shadows on the walls must be black bugs. In it all, a golden man unsuited to this lowest pit is here.
なんだ、アーチャー。ここにいたのかい?
The golden man, Archer, does not look at his master and just stares into the darkness.
聞けよ。朗報だぜ。コトミネのやつ、僕らの行動には目をつむるってさ。見どころがあるやつだって思ってたけど、本当に使えるよな、あいつ。よ。
Talking in delight, he walks toward Archer. Archer finally notices his master. The red eyes move.
いや、別に文句を言いに来たわけじゃない。君がどこで何をしていようと構わないさ。サーバントの自由意志ぐらい尊重するよ。僕は他の連中と違って猟犬が広いからね。
Shinji's pressured by the red eyes, but he still approaches Archer. Even if Archer may be an ominous existence, he is only a servant. Therefore, he maintains his arrogance against Archer. He shows leniency, but he still displays that he is the stronger one.
そうか。琴峰は随分とお前を買っているよ
うだ。ああ、何でもじいさんには借りがあるんだって。得体の知れない三流魔術師が残るより、僕のように歴史のある血筋が勝利すべきとか言ってたな。
Yes, Gold Guy is Gil.
そんなの当然じゃないか。何を今更って気はするけど、まあ人を見る目だけはあるよ。一応世話になったしさ。聖杯を手に入れたら例の一つでもやろうかって思案中。
Joyful laughter echoes through the room.
それじゃあ始めようか、アーチャー。もう人目を気にする必要もないんだ。手っ取り早く殺しまくってさ、じゃんじゃん魂を食べて強くなってよ。そうしたら次はあいつらだ。
If you want to know what can and can't kill Velbar, we might just have to wait for Extella Ling. If it even follows that plot route. He pats Archer on the shoulder. Archer watches as if something unpleasant has touched him.
何？ほら、行くって言ってるんだよ、アーチャー。どこの英雄だろうが、サーバントってのはマスターの命令には絶対服従なんだろ。
He must have imagined himself raping Saber and letting his friend crawl on the ground. He orders Archer in high spirits. But the golden man does not move.
シンジ、お前は聖杯というものを理解していない。
And he says his master's name for the first time.
聖杯が欲しいのなら他のマスターなど放っておけ。連中は所詮生贄に過ぎん。真に聖杯を手にするというのなら先に抑えておくべきものがある。
先に抑えておくべきもの？
The boy, Mato Shinji, looks at his servant. His feet are moving back unconsciously, and he has let go of Archer's shoulder.
まずはそれを手に入れようか。 俺は聖杯を手に入れるためにお前に力を貸している。我らにとって共通の目的は聖杯だけだからな。ま、お前の気持ちはわからんでもないが、復讐は気持ちがいい。快楽を求めるのは人の証だ。するべきことを済ませたのなら、お前の遊びにも付き合おう。
Archer smiles for some reason, sensing something evil in it. Shinji finally feels uneasiness about the servant's identity. The eighth servant, a heroic spirit that should not exist. The strongest king of heroes, said to have existed since the last Holy Grail War.
そういえば聞いてなかったね。
Shinji speaks, still trying to preserve his superiority.
なんだ。聞けば答えるぞ、マスター。
お前の望み、聖杯を手に入れたらさ、お前はどうしたいんだ、アーチャー。
It's a natural question. A heroic spirit that is half immortal and has all the treasures in the world. What can this man possibly wish for now?
なんだ。そんなことも知らなかったのか。
Archer says so with surprise. His face is smiling, as if he found a small happiness.
我は豪勢なものを許す。装飾華美など最もめでるべきものだ。だが余分なものに与える意義などない。
余分な。
昔の話なのだがな。10人の奴隷を選び、その中でいなくとも良いものを殺そうとしたことがある。どうなったと思う、シンジ。
は？みんな奴隷なんだろう。なら全員殺したんじゃないの？
いやいや、それがな、一人も殺せなかった。いかな人足とはいえ、無駄なものなどいなかったのだ。
He shrugs his shoulders ironically and steps forward. A deeper darkness, he raises his foot over the dark shadow.
だが、この世界には余分が溢れている。10人どころか1000人という人間を選んだところで、殺せない人間など出てきまい。まったく恐ろしく人間に優しい世界になったものだ。
Well, Velber didn't obtain the Sword of Mars, Altera did.
わけわかんないな。結局何が欲しいんだよ、アーチャー。お前だって欲しいものがあるから聖杯を手に入れようって言うんだろ。なら
Archer does not answer. The golden man does not even turn to his master and...
簡単な話だ。多いということはそれだけで気色が悪い。
Gilgamesh, you say that, but something tells me you wouldn't mind a room filled with tons and tons of the same thing, in this case, women or something. Or do you not like rice? It's like, too much rice, damn it! I need to eliminate that. Lowers his raised foot into the darkness. A smashing sound. On the ground are numerous smashed bugs, with more swarming around. Interlude out. And it's a new day. Strike lovers. That sounds like a show. Okay, well, that's a pretty good stopping point. I got through all the scenes I was expecting to today. Like I said, Friday I will be doing a live stream of Camelot, which will be very interesting to say the absolute least. But, yeah. This upcoming video for this weekend, on Saturday, will be a down to the frame of Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to Otaku Daikun for more anime lists, reviews, discussions, lore videos, let's plays, and the Holy Waifu Wars. Until next time, celebrate your fandom.